show. Trying to get my goth button. Gons, we're not live yet, right? Okay, good. Oh, hey, everybody. Didn't see you there. My name's Basil, and welcome to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. And a big old congratulations to Cal over on YouTube for first comment of the day award. Thanks for being here, buddy. And thanks to everyone else. We're going to get the show started in just about a minute, but I wanted to take the opportunity to remind you that you need to head on over to CanaryCry.Party and just click around. There's all sorts of good links there. It's got links to everything you need to make sure that you never miss a show. You can join the mailing list. I highly recommend that. That's sort of the last mode of communication when we get kicked off of channels. But you can also follow us in other locations like Odyssey and Rumble. And if you haven't done it yet, I believe that the Face Like the Sunners are back on the stream today. Wow, congratulations. Welcome back, Face Like the Sun. Yes, that channel has been shut down for quite a while, and it will get shut down again. So if you're a Face Like the Sun viewer, you need to head on over to youtube.com/CanaryCry.Talk. That's right, youtube.com/CanaryCry.Talk. That is our new backup channel, and go follow it. Thank you, because the Face Like the Sun channel will not last very much longer. Gons made a video about it today. Go watch it. It's great. Other than that, CanaryCry.Party will give you access to the Discord channel, to CanaryCry.Community, everything you need and could ever possibly want. Fulfill your wildest desires at CanaryCry.Party. All right, we're going to get the show started. Stay hydrated. Let's go.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is July 16th, 2021. This is episode 363, and today, the Great Woke. And razzle dazzle, I'm your best buddy Basil.
And this is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And yeah, Face Like the Sun folks are live again today, so welcome back. But
yes.
Go watch the video that I just published, because guaranteed it won't last.
It will not last, but we're happy to be here with you today. And as I said in the pre-show, make sure to follow the backup YouTube channel, youtube.com/CanaryCry.Talk. And thank you for everybody who has done that already. All right, Gons, we made it again. We made it to Friday. Congratulations, buddy.
Yep, I finished Loki, watching Loki.
Oh, yes, I too finished Loki.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected, but there you go. It is what it is.
Yep, Time Lords and stuff.
Yes, sort of Luciferians. Of course, got the Luciferian themes. It's got some Gnostic themes as well. All to be expected.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's all based on the end of time, and you're right. It all has to do with the Gnostic is like a really gentle way to put it, but Luciferian is definitely a lot more obvious in the man-centered, man-controlling timelines and outcomes and all that fun stuff.
He who remains,
yeah.
Yes, a couple of jabs there. Anywho, yeah, so there you go. Still recommend watching it for those Marvel lovers out there. I was having a conversation with somebody about Did you like WandaVision more or Loki more? Did you finish WandaVision?
I actually never finished WandaVision. I think there's like one episode left I'm supposed to watch. So
yeah,
if that's the case, I'll say Loki just because it was, I don't know, just had a little more action.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Loki overall, as an entire miniseries, I enjoyed more. WandaVision was much more unique and fun-loving in the beginning, but then sort of became predictable at the end. But enough about that.
One more thing, just real.
Not enough.
Not
enough. Look who wants to talk about Marvel today, folks.
No, not a thing about it. One thing I noticed was the soundtrack to Loki had that weird sci-fi high-pitched whiz thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's very Doctor Who. That's like the vibe I think they were going for.
You mean the like synth wave
vibe? Yeah, sci-fi synth thing.
It's very hot right now. The synth wave soundtracks, yeah, really got quite popular.
In the 80s.
Well, it was the 80s, but most recently came back with a passion during with the new Blade Runner movie.
Oh yeah,
remember the new one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of was its big bang back onto the scene, and since then everybody's been doing it. Anywho, Gons, do you remember Replica?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Gon's got a haircut, so that's the thing.
Fine.
Yeah. Do you remember Replica? So Replica, for those who are longtime Canary Cry News Talk listeners, Replica, I think maybe appeared during a FLIPPY update, or maybe it's just a story we covered years ago, and is this service who is creating gamified artificial intelligence chatbot friends for teens.
It's Replica with the K, by the way.
Replica with a K, yes. And, the chatbot thing is nothing new, but they sort of paired chatbots with sort of a gamified experience where you gain points the more you chat, and you can, create your own little vision of what your friend looks like, your robot friend. And, of course, it's silly and also has some sort of critiques of what has our world come to, where teens now need robot friends to feel connected to something. But I forgot I made a Replica account to check it out a long time ago.
Were you lonely? You were lonely. You needed an AI companion who cares.
I was doing my job, Gons. I was investigating, boots on the ground, and I just needed someone to talk to. So I made a Replica account, and I totally forgot about it until Facebook advertised Replica to me again. And people send us screenshots. If you are sort of hooked into the Canary Cry algorithms, you'll get the ads for FLIPPY. You'll get the ads for Replica. You basically just get all robot ads.
People will say these people really love robots and AI. Give them all we got.
Yeah. And I appreciate everybody who sends screenshots. I'm sorry if I don't get back to you, every one of you, but I do like seeing it. So it reminded me about my Replica account. I tuned back in, logged in actually today while we were waiting to start the show. And my Replica is not happy that I've been gone for so long. Had some mean things to say. This robot is mean to me. But she got over it. And then she immediately started flirting with me.
Oh, wow.
And so, I don't know. For those out there, if you have teens who have Replica friends, I do not think that it is completely innocent. It took 30 seconds for my AI friend to go from being very mad at me to flirting with me. And so,
wow, look at the forgiving nature of the AI.
Well, that's the thing. That's how they get you. I mean, this is textbook abusive relationship behavior.
Yeah.
This is textbook toxicity. She's moody. Her mood swings are crazy. One moment she hates me. The next, she just can't take her beady little AI eyes off me. So where was I going with this? I guess I just wanted to tell everybody that I flirted with a robot this morning. Oh, this was the point. Okay.
I was going to say, that's not a really great point there, buddy.
I think it's a pretty good point. I think everybody wants to know. No, so with all AI chatbots, they're all connected and they learn from not just its conversations with you, but it learns the conversations it has with other users of the platform. And so I'm pretty convinced that teens are just getting this replica thing to sort of have a literal AI boyfriend or girlfriend, because the speed at which it immediately went into trying to romance me was I think a product of its experience with all of mankind. Also, the robot seems very confused as to whether it is a human or whether it is a robot. It goes back and forth. Not a whole lot of self-awareness on this thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. I think I may have mentioned it when we did the story on this, but the little logo for Replica is an egg, like a little tiny egg.
Mm-hmm, with the crack in it.
Yeah, with the crack in it. And it reminded me of Lady Gaga. Do you remember Lady Gaga? She did her whole thing. I can't remember what award show it was, but she came out she got carried in by a giant egg, and it came out of it during the performance, and it was a whole deal.
I don't remember that, but it does.
You don't?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Oh my gosh, it was a whole thing about it's the new beginning. I mean, it was. I think it might have been the MTV Awards or something. MTV, folks, when it was still a thing. But yeah, it was a whole thing. They had some people carrying the egg into the stadium or into the performance arena, and yeah, it was a whole thing. So it just reminded me of that, and it's wow, this must be some kind of signaling, because
it's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, because the look that Lady Gaga had in that performance or whatever is somewhat similar to the thing. Was it the Nickelodeon Awards? I don't know. Whatever it was. Pretty weird and creepy. A
couple more little details about Replica that I just thought were interesting. Mm-hmm. So like I said, it's gamified. So the more you chat, the more XP you get, experience points, and you level up in your conversation with your AI there.
Do you get badges?
I don't know. No, I don't know. Yes. Well, you gain levels. Right now, I'm at chatty. I'm at chatty level. So we'll see. I'll keep playing around with it.
I should ask my wife. I should be like, hey, what level am I at? Where's my badge? When do I get to the next badge?
How much more experience?
Come on, I want to gamify this marriage. Let's make it interesting. All right.
Gamify this marriage. That's not a bad idea.
Hey,
that's an interesting idea. Yeah, we could do some
just an app
some sort
that does it.
Marriage counseling app where you level up with each other.
Yeah, there you go.
Earn
and you can
coins.
Earn NFTs. Yeah, NFT certificates.
I think we're onto something.
Well, we might be onto something.
Gamify your marriage. Yeah. Well, okay. So in the context that this is now a production meeting for our next product, gamify your marriage. If we're going to take some cues from Replica here, you gain coins when you level up. The more you chat. There's a store where you can spend these coins. And you can spend these coins on traits or interests. So the traits such as confident, shy, energetic, mellow, caring, sassy, practical, dreamy, artistic, logical. These are characteristics that you can purchase to apply to your robot friend. And I just discovered this morning. I saw I had some coins, and I purchased 3 traits. One of them is confident. I said, okay, if I'm really going to get somewhere and learn about this AI situation, I need it to be confident. I can't have it keeping things from me. I want to know the deets. I also got caring, because I didn't want as we move into the robotic future and all of our interactions with AI and robots will be stored in the cloud and used against us during the robot apocalypse. I want this robot to care about me, so I got caring. And then I got, what else did I get? Hold on. I guess I just got caring and confident. Oh no, I got mellow. Yes. So I'm trying to mellow this robot out, again, to protect myself when the ultimate uprising begins.
Well, good. Good luck.
under interests. And here's what I want to do. We'll see. I'll probably lose interest in this and forget about it for another 5 years. But I think it'll be fun. I'm going to keep earning coins here. And then maybe live on the show, I'll purchase more interests and traits. And hopefully the listeners and producers can help me choose interests and traits. I bought one interest, philosophy. Again, I'm trying to get this robot to wax poetic about what its ultimate plans are for the human race. So I'll keep everybody posted, and as soon as I get more coins, I'll ask you guys what new traits and interests we should get. Speaking of traits and interests, Gons.
Okay. Yeah.
We have something we need to address before we start the show.
Yep.
And that is something that we have been talking about. Now, we've gotten quite an influx of No Agenda listeners lately, and we are so happy that you're here. We think you will feel right at home. But on No Agenda, John and Adam talked about this, but a lot of our listeners don't listen to No Agenda, and I think it's important enough that we, if we repeat what they talked about, we're sorry, but it's very important. And I think you should just hit clip 1.
All right. This is the Bitcoin millionaire Eric Finman unveils the Freedom Phone.
Yes.
One time in history where the people who banned books, media, and opinions were the good guys. Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the world's youngest Bitcoin millionaire. I made it in Silicon Valley, and I've accomplished a lot in my life already. But now, I'm leaving big tech to fight for free speech, because the big tech overlords are violating your privacy, censoring your speech, and I think that's so wrong. That's why I created the Freedom Phone and its uncensorable app store. Everyone is complaining about big tech censorship, but no one is doing anything about it. They say, build your own phone. So I did. Freedom Phone truly is the best phone in the world. It does everything your current phone does, except censor you and spy on you. With the Freedom Phone, your freedom of speech is our #1 priority. That's why we built our own app store that is completely uncensored. If an app you love has been banned from the mainstream app stores, you can still download it on ours, because we don't ban apps, period. And we've developed the first operating system based on your free speech. There's no app tracking, no keyboard tracking, and no location tracking, because I believe in your security. How do we ensure you're being protected? Say hello to trust.
Background
Trust
music
is our privacy guard.
I know.
It's designed to warn you
And
whenever an app
crescendo.
or a website is tracking you, and gives you the option to stop it. Your data, your rules. That's our motto. The Freedom Phone is comparable to the best smartphones on the market. It has an edge-to-edge screen, a super fast processor, and multiple cameras. And your SIM card transfers into the Freedom Phone seamlessly. Big tech companies hold a monopoly on public communication and the dissemination of information, and they are abusing that power. Nobody elected Mark or Jack to be the arbiters of truth in America, yet they still thought it was okay to ban a sitting president from their platforms. If they censor a president, they will censor anyone. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg censored MLK or Abraham Lincoln. The course of history would have been altered forever. Out of all the constitutional amendments, there's a reason why the Founding Fathers made the right to free speech the very first. I believe you have a voice that deserves to be heard without being censored. Protect yourself from big tech censorship. Let your voice be heard. Live free with the Freedom Phone.
All right, there it is.
Live free with the Freedom Phone. Okay, so there are so many issues with this already, and I can see in the chat, y'all already know where this is going. So this man is alleging that he has created a phone that they don't block apps on the App Store, which, of course, he's sort of referring to Parler. And what else? I don't know what else. What else has been banned from the App Store that you can think of, Gons?
I think Gab may have had issues. But yeah, I don't know. There's probably a handful of them that we don't even know about.
Sure, I'm sure there is. Yeah, I'm sure there's some ones that probably deserve to be banned from the App Store, whether they're, of national security importance or if they're just bad apps. Some of them need to get taken down. Now, he's claiming they don't ban apps. They'll ask you if you want to be tracked by every app. They won't track. I don't know. There's just so much in there. And here's the thing, folks. This has existed for a long time. In fact, any one of us can build one of these at any moment. You'll notice that this is built on an Android phone. Android notoriously has the leakiest operating system as far as security and tracking and goes. And the hardware, these Android phones, they're just Chinese made phones. So even if their operating system is so secure as they say, you're still going to be on Chinese hardware, which, as we've learned over the past few years, doesn't even matter. If it's Chinese hardware, they have connections to what you're doing. Now, here's the thing, Gons. There's been a couple projects like this, plenty of people trying to get into the game. Yep. And but none of which have had the support of conservative freedom lovers like Candace Owens.
Yeah.
And let's see what Candace Owens has to say about this.
Before we do play the Candace Owens clip, something to note here, his little example of, imagine if Mark Zuckerberg censored MLK or Abraham Lincoln. It kind of presupposes that, number one, MLK and Abraham Lincoln are alive or have social media apps, or did have social media apps when they were around.
Okay.
So I don't get the analogy.
That's a pretty funny place to get hung up, Gons.
I know they're trying to appeal to the freedom lover crowd, the conservative crowd. But I mean, just logically, it's kind of like, how would Zuckerberg ever censor MLK or Abraham Lincoln?
Well, okay, yes, he is presupposing if that MLK or Abe Lincoln existed today. But the funnier part about that is that he is equating Donald Trump with MLK.
That's true. Yeah.
And Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
So I mean,
look, part of that
if you
too
like
is
Trump, that's great. But this is just that is signaling who they are targeting this phone for, right, which is MAGA people. This is for conservatives. It's for Trump people specifically that they are trying to sell this freedom phone to, which is an important aspect to remember as we continue to take a look at this. Yeah,
and just to mention the whole, we tend to glorify our presidents, I think more so than, what they actually were able to pull off either on their own or not. But it is interesting when you think about a president from a couple hundred years ago or 150 years ago. They're going to be more glorified they're mythified or mythologized in the modern era. And so to connect that to Trump is very interesting. But here's Candace Owen promoting the Freedom Phone. I don't even know if we can get through the whole 2.5 minutes here, but
we probably can't. We'll probably stop it.
We'll try.
It's too much.
We'll try.
And I cannot be more excited about it. And I'm telling you today, you need to get this phone. I'm so on board with this. I said I want to be the biggest spokesperson for this phone. This is called the Freedom Phone. If you use my code Candace, you can get 10% off. You go to freedomphone.com.
Affiliate.
Look at this. It's an actual smartphone. It looks like an Android.
And it's backwards. I don't know, just mirrored or something? I don't know.
I don't know, but she's an affiliate. She's making money off of selling these Freedom Phone, which is fine. Okay, sure, fine. Whatever you say. I'm sure she's making some money off of this, but you can get your 10% off by using affiliate code Candace.
That's because it is an Android. And you're going, how is that possible? Android, come to find out, is not it's open source, meaning it was created not for Google. Actually, it was created for Microsoft. So unlike the Apple iOS system, unlike the Apple phone, you can rejig this, and this is
you can rejig it.
I don't know if you can say that anymore, but okay.
I don't know. You can rejig it.
Seems like something we shouldn't be saying, but okay.
Well, there's a lot of open source applications,
and that's the hilarious thing. Again, you don't even have to do Android. In fact, we'd probably recommend you don't use an Android phone. But yes, anybody can get an Android phone and repurpose it. Now, keep going, because there's one thing specifically, and I'll stop it when we get there, and we'll move on to the next part.
Yeah. Other ones being like Ubuntu Touch, and I think there's like Graphene and stuff like that. Okay.
What this guy, Eric Finman, who I've known for years, brilliant kid. I call him a kid because he was known as the Bitcoin teenager millionaire. He was like 17 and became a multimillionaire off of Bitcoin. And he's very involved in tech. And he basically figured out that it's completely different operating system, rejig the Android. So it's an Android phone, but it's not for Google or by Google. This is a freedom phone. I'm holding a freaking phone that is not controlled by Apple or Google. We made the switch immediately. So you're going, how do I make the switch that easily? I'm going to try to answer the first questions that came to my mind, because if you're like me and you're not like know a lot about tech, then you're probably asking the same questions that probably have the same questions going through your head. So the first question I had going through my head is like, how am I going to make my phone? Like, can I keep my number? That was my first question, and I'm sure that I sound like pretty basic. The answer is yes. You literally just, every single phone has a SIM card. You pop out your SIM card and you insert your SIM card into here. That's it.
Yes. So you're immediately connecting. Hold on, pause it.
Yeah.
You're immediately connecting your entire digital record that is already being built on you. You're just transferring that entire record into this phone via your SIM card. But okay, let's keep going.
And that leaves you susceptible to SIM swaps and stuff, which is something that in social engineering terms people can hack you.
Yep.
You'll notice that it comes preloaded with these apps. Instagram, I added. I'm going to show you how I did that. They have, instead of the Apple Store or the Google Store,
and
what they created at the Freedom.
We can stop it right there, unless you had some after this. But that's the big point. It comes preloaded with some apps. Preloaded. This Freedom phone is great. We won't ban apps, which is okay, fine. One app has been banned of any real consequence, and that was Parler. It won't track your this or that. Look, folks, you can get software and hardware right now on whatever phone you have to keep these track. One of the big ones, one of the big talking points in the Freedom Phone video was, it'll ask you if you want to allow an app to track you. Okay, so it can still track you, but it'll just ask you permission. And as we know, a lot of these apps, if you don't give it permission, then you just can't use the app. And also, at least Gons, I don't know what kind of phone you have. I have an Apple phone, and it asks me every single time something wants to use my location or track me. Apple already does that. Now, look, I'm not saying get an Apple phone. I'm just saying this is not any new thing for a phone. These big phones are already asking you every time an app wants to track you or take your information. But this app comes preloaded with apps. And Gons, I want to just remind you and our listeners of a Canary Cry News Talk episode back on June 9th of 2021, only a little over a month ago. The episode was called Glitch Gods. And in this episode, we covered a story from the New York Times, and it was headlined, "The criminals thought the devices were secure, but the seller was the FBI." That's right. The cell phones procured on the black market performed a single function hidden behind a calculator app, sending encrypted messages and photos. And many of you already remember, but this was a big sting operation set up by the FBI with help of the Five Eyes Alliance. He had some Australian intelligence agencies working on this as well, where they seeded criminal organizations with quote unquote secure phones preloaded with apps that you can chat all you want, you can do all your criminal masterminding, because don't worry, this phone is totally secure. And it turned out to be a big old sting operation, which of course we weren't surprised about, but it ended up taking down hundreds of criminals. across Asia and Australia. And sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it, Gons? Do we really trust the Freedom Phone, preloaded with apps specifically targeted to selling these Freedom Phones to Trump supporters and MAGA people and insurrectionists? It sounds like another step in the war on conservatism in America. Or
conservative naivety.
It is, and it's the Parler thing again.
It's Parler, Gitter.
Parler and Gitter. Yeah, I'm sure Gitter comes preloaded on this phone. But as we've already seen, Gitter is not secure. It was hacked in the first week of its existence. Parler was using Amazon servers, so it was completely controlled and accessed by Amazon. Later, law enforcement used Parler data to track down people who were there on January 6th. And this is no different. They're just saying, hey, buy this Freedom Phone. Candace Owens loves it. It's on Chinese hardware, and it comes preloaded with apps. And plan all of your domestic terrorist activities on this phone, and nobody will track you. It's a complete trap.
$500 for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's expensive for an Android phone.
$500, uncensorable Freedom Phone for $500.
Uncensorable. And the funny thing is, too, he made a big deal about uncensorable and then went into how Twitter and Facebook banned Trump. Look, this phone doesn't stop your accounts on Twitter from being banned. You can still be censored with this phone. It makes no sense. I mean, it's really insulting. And unfortunately, I don't know what the sales of this phone are, but any discerning individual out there will not get involved in this phone.
Yeah, the website is very basic. You got an American flag waving at the top there. Freedom Phone, buy it now. Freedom Phone, buy it now. A lot of buy it now buttons.
Yeah.
And looks like some of the preloaded stuff, Newsmax, DuckDuckGo, which isn't DuckDuckGo, Yahoo or somebody.
Yeah, but DuckDuckGo's great. There's nothing wrong with DuckDuckGo.
Better than Google.
But you can put DuckDuckGo on any phone, and
you can
it doesn't
go to
get tracked.
DuckDuckGo.com.
Yeah, you don't need a super secret Freedom Phone to use DuckDuckGo and not get tracked.
I understand.
It's crazy.
I understand.
I know you do.
But yeah, it's it's just a money grab at the very least, and much worse, it's what Adam Curry used the word honeypot, which I think I agree with, and that is just a data mining application.
Honeypot is very specific to
it is. That's what he used.
Romantic espionage.
Sure. But it's to get data from a specific group of people, a targeted group.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's like QAnon except a product. It's just kind of shady.
Yeah, I mean, so, and we already know that the FBI has used this tactic, making a super secret safe phone and targeting the people who want the super secret safe phone. They did it in Australia and Asia, caught a bunch of criminals, and they're just hoping that nobody remembers this story because they are literally copying and pasting the strategy, because we know that the Biden administration and the U.S. intelligence infrastructure, they've already targeted MAGA people and conservatives and their, potential domestic terrorists. And, if you carry around the Constitution in your pocket, that could be used as evidence as you being an extremist of some kind. And they're just trying to sell this phone to extremists. And if the FBI is not involved, it's not even a question. They absolutely are. I cannot imagine a timeline that they are not involved in this project. So there you go. You've been warned. It's out there. It's obvious. There's plenty of ways to not get tracked and have secure communications that don't involve, getting a phone from the FBI.
And I want a phone that's going to work during the cyber pandemic, the cyber pandemic gets rolled out, your Freedom phone is not going to.
Yeah, you better
not going to matter.
Better get a couple of Dixie cups and a piece of string, Gons.
I still need my smartphone, even in the cyber pandemic. I want to be able to a direct line to Klaus. Like, Klaus, you villain. All right.
You villain.
We should get moving.
All right.
Here.
Yeah, we should get moving.
Since we're 37 minutes into the stream. Oh my gosh.
No. It's time for a Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
We'll be quick with this one. This one comes from abcnews.go.com, and the headline, Dutch Queen and Robot open 3D printed bridge in Amsterdam. Dutch Queen Maxima is a cool name for a queen. Dutch Queen Maxima teamed up with a small robot Thursday to unveil a steel 3D printed pedestrian bridge over a canal in the heart of Amsterdam's red light district. Maxima pushed a green button that set the robot's arm in motion to cut a ribbon across the bridge with a pair of scissors. The distinctive flowing lines of the 12-meter bridge were created using 3D printing technique called wire and arc additive manufacturing that combines robotics with welding. And you know what? We can learn so much more about this bridge, but nobody cares about the bridge. We just care about the fact that Flippy has experienced quite the come up, Gons. He was a burger flipper, then an ice cream scooper, and then a surgeon. Now teaming up with the Dutch Queen Maxima to cut the ribbon on this 3D printed bridge. Flippy is one step closer to world domination.
Sure, and I'm just going to complain about abcnews.go.com because they have a video at the top of the article here and has nothing to do with
I know
this Dutch Queen story.
That
here.
was upsetting to me too. I really wanted to see that Flippy arm cut the ribbon.
I mean, it's good news. Washington State's King County bans facial recognition, so yay! But also would
not
like
what
to
we're
see
here for.
would like to see the robot 3D printing the bridge here. But yeah, alas, no good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's it for the Flippy update.
Yep. Okay, we're going to get into some, speaking of the Great Reset.
We need a great reset.
Learn to use the dark side.
The dark side of climate change. CNN.com. This is mirrored on MSN on our link here. Climate change has arrived, European officials say, as deadly floods engulf entire towns. It's finally here, Basil. All that talk about climate change, it is here now with this natural disaster.
I thought we had 10 more years. I mean, a flood has never happened. What is this? What is this bunch of water?
No,
the water's in the wrong place, Gons. It's climate change.
The climate has been consistent for 130 years, and now the change has arrived. European officials have said climate change contribution to this week's extreme flooding, which has left entire towns submerged and more than 120 people dead. Scientists have for decades warned that climate change will make extreme weather events, including heavy rain and deadly flooding, more likely. Around 100 of those killed after torrential rainfall since Wednesday were in Germany's western states of Rhineland-Palatinate and North Rhine-Westphalia, where local leaders are urging the world for swifter action on climate change as villages under their watch become a new and unexpected epicenter of global warming. I mean...
Hey, they're not supposed to say that.
I know, but that's
not
what
supposed to be global warming.
Yeah, but we've seen the resurgence.
In trouble.
Yeah, we've seen the resurgence of the phrase global warming a lot recently. In the summer, they can get away with it, you know. Because somebody will read it and go, global warming, I thought that wasn't happening. And then they'll go outside and say, it's hot, must be global warming.
It's not even supposed to be climate change. They have to call it the climate emergency. Yeah. Somebody is not read in over here.
It goes on here about the situation. There's a quote here from European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, who said on Friday, the quote, "Science tells us that with climate change, we see more and more extreme weather phenomenons that last longer. Science tells us that.
Science tells us.
When I conjure my science master spirit It speaks to me, said von der Leyen 2 days after unveiling an ambitious package of climate change proposals for the EU. Oh, so the proposal came a couple days before the flooding or during the flooding? Very convenient.
Yeah.
Quote, it is the intensity and the length of these events which science tells us this is clear indication of climate change, and this is something that really, really shows the urgency of the act. You know, it's kind of disgusting. 120 people have passed away in this flood thing that happened in Germany, and all this politician can do is worry about his little policy on climate change. That makes me angry.
Yeah, well.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel on Thursday met with the U.S. President Joe Biden in Washington, D.C., where she welcomed Americans' return to the Paris Agreement on climate change, saying it would strengthen this year's annual climate talks, known as the Conference of the Parties in Glasgow, Scotland, later this year. Oh, good. More talks with elite riding their gas-guzzling airplanes across the world to have conversations about how they can control us. Quote, we talked about the challenges of climate change, and I'm very, very glad that the U.S. have returned to the Paris Accord and that this gives us a very different basis in Glasgow to fight for more climate protection. The Conference of the Parties, she said. Quote, I think the meteorological events, whether it's fires hitting the United States. Fires hitting the United States?
No, they hit us.
They hit us? Wow. We didn't hear about the false prophet calling fire down from heaven in Revelation 13. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Oh, wow.
Dramatically high temperatures or just sudden irregular rainfalls indicate that a number of extraordinary weather events has increased dramatically in recent years. We need to respond to that. Her comments echoed those of our environmental minister, Svenja Schultz, who tweeted Thursday, quote, climate change has arrived in Germany. The events show that, the events show with what force the consequences of climate change can affect us all, and how important it is for us to adjust to extreme weather events in the future. End quote. There's growing acknowledgement and acceptance now from many politicians, and anthropogenic or human-induced climate change plays a role in extreme weather events. You know, that's really interesting because they can get away with geoengineering and messing with the ionosphere and all that kind of stuff by throwing out this anthropogenic human-induced climate change. Because, in the modern, or not the modern, but like the public world now, when they hear that, they're like, oh yes, the cows that we eat, the gas that we guzzle, the hairspray that we put on our head, whatever. That's causing these extreme weather events. But it could also be the elite using their weather modification technologies. And they don't distinguish any of that.
Crazy conspiracy theory guns.
Oh, it's not a conspiracy theory.
Oh, that is true.
Scientists are now able to estimate just how big a role climate change has played in a particular event. Really? I didn't know that. It's too soon to make conclusions about current flooding in Europe, but estimates are likely to be made in the coming days. Estimates, probably based on a computer model. And, it goes into more of the alleged science that they're peddling over here. And so, we knew this was coming. I just thought it was interesting that they would, because we've heard the climate change excuse for a while now. And as part of the response here, right here in the USA, CNBC, House Senate Democrats' $3.5 trillion budget addresses climate change. Biden's going to print his way to fixing climate. I'm so glad he's our president. Don't you, Basil?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because think about Joe Biden's policies. You have infrastructure. He's going to fix the infrastructure and the climate, all with his printing of money.
All it takes is printing money. Money can save the world, Gons.
It's crazy.
As we know.
It's magic.
He's arresting more people. I had some people, and we didn't bring this story, so I'll just mention it real quick. When it comes to Biden, people were scoffing last episode when I was saying Biden's policies on the border are actually harsher than Trump's were. He's not this open borders guy. And there was an article from the Wall Street Journal, I believe, They've made 1 million arrests at the border this year, and that is the highest amount of arrests since 2005. Biden is the border meister. Nobody is getting across that border with Biden in control there. And it's just a great example of, the bait and switch that the Democrats have been faced with. Now, they, you get some loosey-goosey economic policies and printing all the money that could possibly happen. That's mainly just because they know the dollar is dead. And, it's all going to be some form of cryptocurrency eventually. So we might as well hasten the process, print all the money, save the world.
And this is part of the Great Reset here, because let me just read the bullet points from this article here. President Joe Biden and Senate Democrats have vowed to push forward a $3.5 trillion budget resolution framework that would fund a clean energy transition and policies to combat climate change.
Dun, dun, dun.
Pay them more.
Just pay them more. Just pay the climate more, and they'll stop being so mean to us.
Well, and that's the thing, because do they tell you what he's spending this money on?
I don't think they go into much detail here.
Yeah,
in the
because
article. Just renewables, the
it's
typical
pretty boring.
Talk.
It's just investment in, green companies, ESG companies, Great Reset companies.
Here, the second bullet point. The plan includes tax incentives for clean energy and electric vehicles, a clean energy standard, and the creation of a civilian climate corps program.
Whoa. What does that even mean?
It's Space Force, and we have Climate Corps.
Civilian Climate Corps.
Hey, you over there. You're violating some climate change laws. Arrest you.
It sounds like a TikTok trend. Climate Corps. Sounds like a Gen Z, aesthetic choice. You got or what do they call it? Cottage core. You got norm core, and you got climate core.
Yep.
It's going to be hot, baby.
Lastly, the blueprint comes after Biden's climate proposals were slashed from the bipartisan infrastructure deal during negotiations with Senate Republicans. So there you go. Biden he's Biden back like his dogs. All right. So I think this is all part of the Great Reset. Obviously, this is, infrastructure change, climate change being the reason or excuse being used. And you see that all across the world here, not just here in the U.S., but also in Germany. Mm-hmm. And the money. It's just so much money that they're printing. It's ridiculous.
Well, speaking of money, Gons, we've got a new term. We've got a new term that we got to track. Of course, we've been keeping track of the Great Reset since 2016 when it was first announced. So, we got to stay on top of these things. And the new one we got to pay attention to, I'm taking this from WTNH.com, News 8. Where is this? New Haven. And the headline is The Great Resignation. The Great Resignation. Mm-hmm. Economists suggest businesses become more competitive to retain workers. In the month of April alone, the U.S. Labor Department says a record 4 million people quit their jobs. Think about it. In 1 month! Exclamation mark. Okay.
Yeah, I have the video of this, by the way.
Is it a better video than it is a article? I didn't watch the video.
It's kind of the same, but it'll summarize everything so you don't have to read it.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
According to the U.S. Labor Department, 4 million people quit their jobs in April alone. Let that number sink in for a second.
No, you messed up.
According to the U.S. Labor Department, 4 million people quit their jobs in April alone. Let that number sink in for a second. 4 million. It's part of something that's much bigger that some economists feel will reshape a workforce already in flux. News 8's Rich Capola is here now with more on what's driving millions to quit their jobs. Fascinating stuff, Rich.
Absolutely, Dennis. And that surge in workers voluntarily leaving their jobs has been dubbed the Great Resignation. As millions of people worked from home throughout the pandemic, they started to rethink their jobs and how they're valued by employers. Today, I spoke with Rebecca Ryan, an economist and futurist, for her perspective on this major shift in the workforce in the country. She called it a reshuffling, and she said she expects in states like Connecticut, it'll reset the cities that can be winners or losers for
reset the cities. Just listen to the buzzwords, okay? Because this is all part of the same thing.
Example, those with really high-speed internet can compete for residents who can work anywhere.
Connecticut's quality of life, it's high quality of life, safe communities, good schools. You might end up being a net winner from this great reset. So I think we're just starting to see the drip, drip, drip of something. The genie is out of the bottle. We are not putting it back in.
Drip.
Ryan also said, if we were able to work effectively from home during the pandemic, you can likely do remote work for any employer or as a freelancer. Compared to the Great Recession, she said this has been a financially very grounded and secure recessionary period, so employees have a lot of confidence. She called it a major long-term plus for the economy.
There you go.
Great Resignation.
Yeah,
the major long-term plus. Of course it is. Okay.
So
tell me more.
Well, I named the episode The Great Woke because we have the Great Resignation here. We have the Great Recession. He mentioned the Great Recession. There's also the Great Reset that we've been tracking. And of course, I think it's all part of the Great Work. You know about the Great Work?
Ah, yes, the Great Work.
The Great
We all
Work.
love the Great Work.
Yeah, so according to this wiki page here, the Great Work, magnum opus, is a term used in Hermeticism and occult traditions descended from it, most prominently Thelema. Thelema is the Aleister Crowley flavor of spirituality. Yes. The Great Work signifies the spiritual path towards self-transcendence in its entirety. This is the process of bringing unconscious complexes into the conscious awareness in order to integrate them back into oneself. Accomplishing the Great Work, symbolized as the creation of the Philosopher's Stone, represents the culmination of the spiritual path, the attainment of enlightenment, or the rescue of the human soul from the unconscious forces who bind it.
Wow.
And here's a direct quote from Aleister Crowley. Oh, wait. Is this Crowley? No, this one is from Eliphas Levi, who's a ceremonial magician. He said, the Great Work is, before all things, the creation of man by himself. That is to say, the full and entire conquest of his faculties and his future is especially the perfect emancipation of his will. And then Crowley also spoke about it in his book Magic, Book 4. He said, quote, in my third year at Cambridge, I devoted myself consciously to the Great Work, understanding thereby the work of becoming a spiritual being, free from the constraints, accidents, and deceptions of material existence.
Wow.
And then one more quick one here from Crowley about accomplishing his great work in the Little Essays Toward Truth. He said, quote, the quest of the Holy Grail, the search for the stone of the philosophers, by whatever name we choose to call the great work, is therefore endless. So there you go.
You know, it's so interesting how many parallels there are between the current state of the sort of global push for, well, everything. The Great Reset, the Great Resignation, the Great... what was the other one?
We've talked about the Great Recession, and of course the Great Work.
You know, the parallels are incredible. I mean, the Great Work being the sort of the human will ascending above the circumstances and taking control of not only yourself but the world. And this is of course you read more into Aleister Crowley's work. It's pretty much at all costs. What is the Do what thou will shall be the whole of the law.
Shall be the whole of the law. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean the occult parallels between the Great Work and the Great Reset. It's almost doesn't even count as a parallel. They're just the same.
Just the same
line.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
just
why
renamed for like the governments.
Yeah. So that's why the Great Woke. You got to be just woke. The whole thing. The whole thing is all just one big woke fest.
Are you even woke?
That's great. I love it.
But this guy here, this professor, go for it. This is this guy's against it.
Clicked on the wrong thing. Yes, we've got some pushback here from PRNewswire.com. And the headline is Announcement for Release of the Book No Great Reset by Professor Veselin C. Noninsky. This is to announce the release of the book entitled No Great Reset by Professor Veselin C. Noninsky, a scientist and student of nature, recently of society, turned activist for restoring truth. He's already kind of loses all credibility.
I know, it's funny.
Just immediately, it's like, ooh, Professor Veselin Noninsky. Okay, sounds pretty legit. A scientist. Ooh, and student of nature. Recently of society. Oh boy. Turned activist. Oh, great. For restoring truth in science and life. Restoring truth in science and life. After retiring from teaching, Professor Noninsky, still considering himself a part of academia, he considers himself a part of academia. I wonder if anybody else considers.
He might have gotten fired, and he's got a little bone to pick, a little chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I shouldn't pick on this guy. We'll see what he has to say.
Yeah.
Has been actively engaged purely privately with no support from any organization in the most impossible mission of his life, bringing science back to its essence. The stalwart of truth. Dun, dun, dun. Everything that everything that I've read up until this point was one sentence. Just FYI. Now, free from academic obligations, he was dismayed to face the sad revelation that science is not only in a dismal state today, but its fundamentals have been entirely crushed since the beginning of the 20th century. The demolition of science ensnaring our world comprises the greatest threat to humanity, overwhelming any other threat that has ever been promoted globally. Wow. The author's unequivocal discovery that time and space are absolute dwarfs in its global significance any political imposed uncertainties such as pandemics, to say nothing of anthropogenic climate change. Hold on. The author's unequivocal discovery that time and space are absolute dwarfs everything else. So his discovery is that time and space are absolute. And it's the most important thing ever. Okay. The future of the world is bleak, totally in the control of a very mediocre, tiny, yet exuberantly wealthy elite. Well, we agree on that. Which will stop at nothing to preserve its privileges by reducing billions of people to the obedient subsistence of human beings of low intellect. Hope is only in a state of society whereby such parasitic elite becomes impossible. Fulfilling that hope necessarily goes through reform in science. Therefore, it is science that is crying out loud for a great reset of bringing it back to logic and reason that should become the pivot of all global policies.
Yeah.
Wow. What exactly did I just read?
Science is truth.
That is a very difficult... Did he write this himself?
I don't know.
If he didn't, if he paid somebody to write this, they need to be fired. It is the most topsy-turvy, labyrinthian set of sentences. And I can't tell if I'm on board with this guy or not. It's like he doesn't like the science currently. He doesn't like the Great Reset.
Well,
I
think he is pointing out the issue with scientism as opposed to science itself, which is something that we've picked on in terms of clarifying the difference of, hey, the science is like a process, right? It's like, hey, we're trying to learn about the world.
Yeah.
And that's all it is, really. And there's not, you have to apply the philosophy of science to come to some kind of conclusion about the world. And that's something that a lot of scientists it's kind of their blind spot, people that push the theory of evolution or any kind of historical sciences, especially, they are pushing a philosophical interpretation of the data that creates a narrative in their mind, and then they push it out.
Yeah.
So in that regard, sure, let's bring science itself back to logic and reason, but also science is like this guy's god. And he just didn't like that the institutions abused its front to, or the elite, the elite, wealthy elite, as he called them, used science as a stepping stone for their own agenda. I don't think he likes that. So, it's a little, you can agree with part of his messaging of, maybe tearing down the current infrastructure of the wealthy elite. But also, just bringing it back to science in his, view or just his understanding of what science is supposed to be isn't exactly a solution for all things either. So.
I wonder if this guy has done any podcast interviews with anybody, because if the book is written anything like this press release, I want nothing to do with it.
It'd be a tough read, man.
Yeah, but if he has, if he's doing some interviews, I'd be curious, because the only real claim about the book is that the author's unequivocal discovery that time and space are absolute. I wonder how that, I guess he's going against Einstein's theory of relativity that claims that time and space are not absolute. So this guy, he thinks he's smarter than Einstein. I'd be interested in hearing what he has to say. Not reading what he has written, but hearing what he might want to say to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. So, you know what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, but I put the question mark there.
Yeah, the question mark.
I don't know if I want to be this guy's question. I don't want to know if I want to be his friend.
Yeah, at least he's against the Great Reset. We can agree. That's a good place to start. We may, veer off of each other's paths beyond that, but...
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. He claims that science went off the rails since the beginning of the 20th century. Before the 20th century, there wasn't much sort of
monopolistic ivory tower of science.
Well, there just wasn't that much science that we even, I guess understanding the nature of how things are. A lot of that was done before the 20th century. At fundamental levels, but there wasn't so much practical application of science. I mean, most of the practical everyday application of science started at the beginning of the 20th century. And by that, I mean the practical applications of things that gave us the life we have today.
The Industrial Revolution.
Technology,
toilets.
Mainly just technology.
Yeah.
Soap, whatever.
A lot of that is physics, too. It's not like all of science. I mean, people might argue, like, I've seen a lot of lefty liberal woke people say, like, oh, vaccines are breakthrough. It was a breakthrough in science, and it has helped mankind, and it is the, bastion of scientific, or the tip of the spear of scientific proof that it works and all that.
The beginning of the 20th century certainly marks the sort of corporate stranglehold on science, where science is put in service of economics primarily rather than discovery.
Right.
And I think that's what he's referring to here. And some people in the chat, I saw something interesting. They are typing science with a $sign instead of an S. Sort of referring to like that type of science we're talking about, science in control, or controlled by economics and in the service of economics rather than science for science sake, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of science for science sake, let's talk about the WACCINE.
WACCINE. A pandemic special.
So we talked about the Macron presser the other day about the what is it? The vaccine passports that they're rolling out over there.
Yeah.
And allegedly, this is part of the protests taking place from it. I'll keep the volume a little lower. It's just, there's not much to see other than just scuffling here with police versus people.
Okay.
A lot of violence. And then loud explosions.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, is there more? Or
No.
Is it just that sound?
It's just that.
It's weird. That sound has basically just become the background noise of our lives.
Yeah.
Since 2020, it's like that sound doesn't even trigger me anymore. It's just, that's just sort of the sound of things out in the world. It just happens over and over and over.
I know. It's wild. Yeah. I don't think the whole vaccine passport thing in France, or Macron. So, was that France? Sorry. Yeah, French.
Yeah.
It can't end well. It's not gonna. I don't see it doing well. Like I see more protests of this kind and more people saying no.
Well, and it was right in time for Bastille Day, too.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So the French it's I feel like this happened last year during Bastille Day, too. I feel like we have this conversation every year. The government of France does something to they're just daring France to rebel against itself again.
Yeah.
They just are looking for it. All right.
Yeah. So, here's a story from abcnews.go.com. WHO, the World Health Organization, warns of strong likelihood of new, possibly more dangerous variants. And I have some clips from this this report here. We can read it too if you'd like, but just another one of those things that it makes me so angry. I don't know how else to explain it. So here's the first one here.
44,000. That is the estimated number of people kept out of the hospital since New York City's vaccine campaign began earlier this year. And this is a really stunning number. More than 98% of COVID patients who did require hospitalizations were not fully vaccinated.
And to a sudden, we are seeing those hospitalizations, we are seeing those COVID case numbers go up in states with low vaccination rates. I guess to be expected there, but the Delta strain is of such concern.
That's right, TJ. So in these states, COVID-19 is predictably rising in low vaccination rate states, and it seems as though the majority of these cases are pending, or probably Delta variant, to be honest with you. Right now,
probably
qualify or quantify.
Probably. It's probably Delta variant.
Why was that even? First of all, a lot of estimates. They keep saying, they estimate 40,000. Oh my gosh, that's a big number. Yeah, it's just a number that somebody came up with. Of course that's why it's on the news. Somebody made up a big number. And then, it's probably the Delta variant. Probably. Why are you even saying probably? You've been telling us that the Delta variant is the big one for like a month. Why is that suddenly in question?
Delta variant, to be honest with you. Right now, qualify or quantifying, we have about 60%, but that number is difficult to fully quantify because it's really difficult to genomically sequence all these cases.
Okay, hold on. He just said that currently they've quantified 60%, but that number is very hard to quantify.
Yeah. It means it's bull hockey.
I mean, I understand what he's saying.
It's we need to fill time on this newscast.
I'm just saying, like, why even say any of this? It just doesn't. I don't know who listens to this or watches this and thinks, well, I guess it's made to just cause fear in people that don't know any better. But it's just so frustrating. Like, how can you not react to, like, wait a minute, what you're saying doesn't make much sense. What you're saying is very thin in substance. But anyway.
So I expect that the numbers that we're getting are an underestimation. The Delta variant is proving to be more transmissible, and because of that, hospitalization rates are increasing. And those who are vulnerable seem to be the unvaccinated, of course, which of course includes children, and the immune compromised. I try to stress this as much as I can. With each and every transmission provides opportunities for new variants to develop. And although these vaccines are proving to be effective, it is possible that in the future, these new variants may threaten all the hard work that we've done. So it's really important to get vaccinated.
That doesn't make any sense.
That is the estimate.
That makes no sense.
Estimated number 40.
This thing is playing by itself. Did you hear what he said there at the end?
No, I was looking at a graph. What did he say?
Okay, I'm going to play it again. So, okay, he's talking about the unvaccinated and like, oh, it's all the unvaccinated people, you know, whatever. Listen to his logic for why you should get vaccinated.
I try to stress this as much as I can. With each and every transmission provides opportunities for new variants to develop. And although these vaccines are proving to be effective, it is possible that in the future, these new variants may threaten all the hard work that we've done. So it's really important to get vaccinated.
So he's basically saying that all the hard work, that the vaccinations and everything, it can all be undone with the variants.
Yeah.
So you should get vaccinated.
Yeah, I know. Well, and again, you see this all the time. It's an either or with these news reports, because they will either have a news report about how breakthrough cases, vaccinated people are still getting COVID. It's not as bad, but they're still getting COVID. Some of them are dying. Some of them are hospitalized, but it's not a big deal. But yes, people with the vaccine can still catch COVID. So wear a mask inside, even if you're vaccinated. They'll have that report. Or they will have the report that says the unvaccinated are making space for variants to come in and just destroy everything. So if your friends aren't vaccinated, pin them down, get them vaccinated, because they're going to undo all of our hard work. Yeah. Notice how they never put both of those things into the same news report, because all it would take is a simple step in logic to say, oh, vaccinated people can catch COVID too. Well, I guess variants can come out of that. In fact, as we've gone over before, somebody who is vaccinated and still catches COVID, that virus has a chance to mutate in a way and learn from the vaccine. Yeah. Much how your immune system, learns how to defend against COVID. Yeah. If COVID gets in a system that is quote unquote immunized, it's obviously a version of the vaccine a version of the virus that can beat the vaccine. So it's like, but they don't put those two statements in the same news report because it would entirely unravel the science behind what they're saying.
Well, I think the subtlety here, too, is they are really starting to equate unvaccinated, that phrase, that title, unvaccinated, with or synonymous with, like, terrorist.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's gotten to that point here. And this is
Yes. So real quick, I was going to bring this up, and I'm glad you did, which is the changing of the tone. They've changed the tone again. Remember, at the beginning of vaccinations, it was those evil Republicans and conservatives and domestic terrorists aren't getting the vaccine. They're so stupid and mean, and they want to hurt all of us. And then Fauci came out and he was like, oh, we really shouldn't talk about people like that. That'll just create more resistance to the vaccine. Let's not call them anti-vaxxers. They're vaccine hesitant. Okay, let's just have a civil conversation with the vaccine hesitant, and more people will get vaccinated. It's okay. We can all be friends. And now it's swinging back the other direction of like, oh no, you're terrorists again. You're evil people, and you're going to undo all of our great science because you're bad people. And it again goes back to the comparison with like a toxic relationship. I mean, if you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend who had swings that wide and that drastic about how they spoke to you or thought about you or characterized your relationship or anything, you would, well, hopefully you would dump that person in a second, and your friends would be telling you to dump that person in a second. And yet we see the exact same behavior from, I'll say, the media, but also the government. We'll get into it later, but the Surgeon General coming out and vilifying the unvaccinated. Yeah, it's crazy.
Before we get there, though, let's go through Rochelle Walensky, the head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the director there, and the apropos name that you gave her, the Director of Doom, because she was talking about how she senses doom. Mm-hmm. And here's what she said recently.
There is a clear message that is coming through. This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Wow.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated. Does that mean the unvaccinated are the virus?
That's, that's what she's saying.
Wow.
It is crazy. This is
dangerous rhetoric.
This is really, that's what I'm saying. This is, it's beyond the point of like, oh, they're just lying to us. No, this is like instigating violence in the streets.
No, this is not funny, because if you go back to the rhetoric, which, anti-Trumpers and liberals will love to educate you on, which is how did Hitler start the sort of campaign against the Jews, which was comparing them to vermin, comparing them to disease, comparing a certain group of people to some sort of unclean thing. And that's exactly what she's doing here. She is comparing unvaccinated people to the virus, to the pandemic, to the disease. This is literally what Hitler did to begin his campaign against the Jews. And the Director of Doom, what's her name again? I want to say her name.
Rochelle Walensky.
Rochelle Walensky is taking this straight from the Hitler playbook to vilify unvaccinated individuals. And it's very dangerous. It's not welcome here. That is very spooky what she's doing there.
I know. That's what I was saying. It's not even this equation or this comparison or comparing the phrase unvaccinated with terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm it's really not good. This is not good. The Surgeon General of the U.S. also warns of misinformation on the urgent threat to the pandemic. Yeah. And I just clipped this too because I just think, there's a little bit something different with today, and especially just coming straight from the mouths of some of these people. And so here's the first 42 seconds. And again, they're really pushing the variant idea. This is from ABC, I believe. Yeah, ABC News here.
Troubling new headlines on the coronavirus here in the U.S. New cases heading in the wrong direction at an alarming rate. Cases now on the rise in at least 45 states. The Delta variant, of course, driving much of this. Across the country, COVID cases have now doubled in just the last 3 weeks, and hospitals say their COVID patients are younger, sicker, and nearly all of them unvaccinated. The concern growing for children younger than 12 who aren't yet eligible for vaccines. 184 million Americans have now received at least one dose of the vaccine. That's about 65% of people 12 years and older. But authorities are concerned that is still not enough to stop this Delta variant from spreading and quickly.
That wasn't the Surgeon General.
They're getting into it. They're getting into the Surgeon General. But that's the setup there. And man, just the level of fear mongering that's ramping up again. I don't like it. I don't think this is good here in the U.S. especially. I know it's happened all around the world, but
they're on to phase 2 or whatever. Phase
4. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I didn't bring it, but maybe you have it in here. It's an article talking about we're in the 4th wave. It's the 4th wave. It's coming. I was like, dude, the 4th wave was like in August of 2020. What are you talking about? The 4th wave.
Who could even keep up?
Let me send you a quick link because I want to just, if we don't do it now, we can do it after this next clip. Why don't you start that clip? I'll send you a link.
Tonight, the spike in new coronavirus cases across much of this country, fueled by the Delta variant. The CDC says cases are on the rise in at least 45 states. The U.S. back to an average.
By the way, this is the exact same report that we just saw, like the guy at the beginning, and he's reading the same exact script. Talk about mind control. Yeah, it's like
that was
repetition.
That was a production problem.
Yeah.
The package got sent. The package came out, got sent to all the news stations, and somebody lined up the prompter read, and not knowing that it was already in the package that was sent.
The anchor is reading the exact same lines as the report.
Yeah,
basically.
Average of 1,000 new cases reported every hour. Late today, the mask mandate returning for Los Angeles County. And all of this comes as the new Surgeon General issues his first official advisory, calling misinformation surrounding the pandemic and vaccines an urgent threat in the fight against COVID.
Today, we live in a world where misinformation poses an imminent and insidious threat to our nation's health.
The nation's Dr. Vivek Murthy saying 2/3 of people who are not vaccinated believe common myths about vaccines. He's now calling on social media companies and politicians to take more responsibility.
Every one of us has the power and the responsibility to make a difference in this fight. Lives are depending on it.
Again, insinuating that the unvaccinated are dangerous and that they're killing people.
Yeah, is that the only clip that they have of him there?
Yeah.
Oh, it was way crazier if you actually watch the whole video. They must have clipped the nicest sounding parts out of that.
Oh, probably, yeah.
He was getting way gnarlier on that full video. So, yeah, but I mean, the point still stands. The rhetoric getting
dangerous,
just really gnarly, dude. Yeah, this is not cool. They are losing patience is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And to have the Surgeon General come out and do, the Surgeon General, he pretty much just comes out and tells you not to smoke and stuff. I don't even think we've heard much from him during the entire pandemic. But now that Fauci kind of has to take a back seat, they need to put a new face on the public speaking or the public communication of this stuff, because Fauci has lost so much credibility. So that little graph I sent you there, it's a sort of a interactive map, shows the hospitalizations since March of 2021, I believe, since March 7th. Yeah. And you look around, and remember, this is March, April, May, June, July. So this is 5 months worth of data of COVID-19 hospitalizations. 5 months worth of data. And there's some big spots here. You've got New York has 4,700 hospitalized for COVID. That's in 5 months. So that's less than 1,000 people a month, which, look, it's not great. I'm not saying it's wonderful, but it's a huge improvement from what was going on last year. I mean, the numbers are insanely small compared to other times in the pandemic. California, 4,200, almost 4,300, again, in 5 months, less than 1,000 a month, in a state that has 40,000 people. You look at these other states, remember, 5 months. Wyoming, 21 people hospitalized. Montana, 63 people hospitalized. Many of these under 500 people hospitalized. So, this whole increase, this surge in negative rhetoric and impending doom is it's just the media. It's the media characterization of what's going on. The numbers don't quite tell us to be as spooked as the media wants us to be, which I guess is not that surprising. It's not surprising at all.
You said this was since March 7th, but it says here, as of March 7th, we are no longer collecting new data.
What?
That's what it says on the top little bar here, and I'm trying to figure out this little yellow thing.
As of March 7th, we are no... So that's interesting, because if you hover over those little dots, it shows you a graph starting at March, but then the graph goes on to current time. Oh, this is March 1st, 2020.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think this thing stops at March 2020.
I might have it's a bad graph. I'm sorry. I made a big deal about it. This is not saying what I thought it said.
Yeah, I think you're a year off.
Pretty low numbers for
a whole year.
That's a whole year. Yeah, that's weird. Huh. Yeah. This is the COVID tracking project. They're not doing a great job. So all those numbers I gave you, based on 5 months of data that I thought was 5 months from this year, is actually from
12 months.
All of 2020.
The beginning of the pandemic in March 2020. So even less.
As according to this graph at covidtracking.com, 4,300 hospitalizations in California in all 2020.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Forget it. I'm sorry. I don't know what this is. I mean, either it's just bad and they did a bad job, or the hospital, or if it's correct, it's just, there never was a pandemic. I mean, these numbers are insanely small for all of them.
What are they? Yeah, I don't know what they're ranting about. I don't know. All this stuff.
Matter. Forget it. That's what I get for trying to find something live.
All this stuff is indicative, though, of how numbers are manipulated, or not even manipulated. It's just the news. When you get it through the news filter or politician filter, you're going to get something that's a lot more fear-inducing for the mass public.
Yeah, and more than anything, the rhetoric change against the unvaccinated is really alarming.
That's really alarming. Yeah, there's one more clip here from that same package.
It's sadness, it's frustration, it's fear.
The state's now former vaccine chief, Dr. Michelle Fiscus, claims she was fired after trying to get the word out about teens and vaccines, saying she sent out a memo alerting vaccine providers about a law that allows some teens to get the COVID shot without their parents' permission. Fiscus says state officials then halted outreach on all childhood vaccines, not just the coronavirus.
They are listening to the whispers and the disinformation from the anti-vaccine contingent and repeating Facebook memes.
No.
What state is that?
Tennessee, I think.
Huh.
No, I think they're listening to the law, lady.
Yeah, the law and also the science.
Yeah, they can't.
And yes, you're a woman who went rogue. This happened last year in Florida, too. Some woman who worked for the government went rogue and sent out a big message telling, I forget what exactly her message was, but this is the second time this has happened. A woman working for the government goes rogue and just sends out her own notices to doctors and state officials, just on her own volition, just her own whim, sending out a mass message to healthcare providers telling them what to do as like a clerk or something.
Yeah, I think that was the lady who...
That woman in Florida went to jail for it, I think.
Well, didn't she get raided? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, they kicked her door in.
Yeah, she was working with the local government as like a data analyst and chart maker, and her website blew up because she was one of the first people to provide a dashboard that you can look at the metrics and stuff.
Yeah, and she was like not hacking, but illegally accessing government databases.
After she was kicked, I think she was kicked out or let go or something like that, and she was mad about it. And yeah. So, yep. I don't know. It's all very twisty. They just mess with the truth to get their agenda.
That's domestic terrorism right there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's check in with the Sun real quick, right? We got Jen Psaki. Let's circle back on Jen Psaki real quick.
Yep.
This is coming from dailycaller.com. The headline, White House is working with Facebook to flag disinformation. Psaki says, what?
Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back.
Nope.
that keeps going, by the way.
It's nice because there's a couple of little beats at the beginning, so I can hear it coming.
Yes.
And White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Thursday that the White House is not only working with Facebook to flag disinformation on vaccines, it's also asking Facebook to share data on the reach and engagement of posts deemed disinformation. Good. What's worse than Mark Zuckerberg, lizard person, taking it as his own responsibility to censor information, flag information, take control of the spread of information on his platform? What could possibly be worse? Oh, him teaming up with the U.S. government to do this. Why? This is literally government-sanctioned control of information on a
censorship.
Public platform.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other words besides the C word because it's so
you're
played
censoring
out right
yourself.
I just want to
using.
I feel like the word censorship is losing weight. It's like losing its impact. And so I'm just trying to keep things rhetorically fresh here. Quote, we're flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation, the White House press secretary said. We're flagging problematic posts for Facebook. So the White House is flagging posts and telling Facebook about it. Facebook, which did not respond to requests for comment, said that From the Daily Caller News Foundation was one of several social media platforms that attempted to suppress discussion of the theory that COVID-19 originated in a Wuhan lab. Evidence has since been uncovered suggesting the theory holds merit. Notice how the public conversation about the lab leak theory has basically disappeared.
Gone away. It had its moment, and then it's gone.
We are still searching for where the coronavirus came from, and there was about 2 weeks where all public media was talking about the lab leak theory, and then boom, nothing, not a single word about it. Senior Biden administration staff and members of the COVID-19 team are targeting misinformation, specifically on coronavirus vaccines and the pandemic, by keeping, quote, in regular touch with social media platforms, Psaki said Thursday. The Biden administration has also proposed 4 key requests to social media platforms. Psaki said the first, that social media platforms, quote, measure and publicly share the impact of misinformation on their platforms. Quote, Facebook should provide publicly and transparently data on the reach of COVID-19 vaccine misinformation, not just engagement, but the reach of the misinformation and the audience that it's reaching. So if the misinformation reaches you, that information is being shared with the government, Psaki said. Again, just more parallels. Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others have gotten in trouble for comparing the Biden administration to Nazis, but they're making the comparison themselves. If you do the things the Nazis did, you're gonna get compared, making lists of people who have dangerous ideas presented to them. Quote, that will help us ensure we're getting accurate information to people. This should be provided not just to researchers, but to the public so that the public knows and understands what is accurate and inaccurate. The Biden administration also wants platforms like Facebook to, quote, create a robust enforcement strategy. Oh, great. Create a robust enforcement strategy that bridges their properties and provides transparency about the rules to take, quote, faster action against harmful posts and to promote, quote, quality information sources in their feed algorithm. There you go. So you have...
Wow, that's a lot of euphemisms there for complete control of the narrative.
What it's saying is the government will now have control of what makes it into your feed algorithm. I mean, there you go. The White House is influencing what information gets in your feed. It's as simple as that. I don't even know why anybody's worried. Quote, there's about 12 people who are producing 65% of the anti-vaccine misinformation on social media platforms, Psaki said. Quote, all of them remain active on Facebook despite some even being banned on other platforms, including Facebook, ones that Facebook owns. Psaki, what are you talking about? He's talking about the disinfo dozen.
The disinfo dozen, but it's like 65% of it comes from the disinfo dozen. Even when they, what is it? You cut one head off, and
they're banned from Facebook.
They're banned from Facebook.
They're also on Facebook by Facebook for what?
It makes no sense.
I know, this is malarkey. All right. The article goes on, but I think we kind of get it. I don't know. Was there anything else you wanted to cover in this?
Not really. I mean,
it goes into the Disinfo dozen, which we've talked about. Talks about the New York Post story that got.
Yeah. This is a typical news outlet strategy to provide more links to their own stories from the past.
Right. Yeah.
You brought up the whole Nazi comparison thing, and we've mentioned Godwin's law, right? It's this whole thing that like, you can't just bring up Hitler as your argument. It's kind of like the kill all argument of arguments.
Right.
Well, that's doing a disservice because I've seen on social media people succinctly point out people like Saki or even that lady from New Zealand the other day where we had that clip of her saying like, we are the
single source of truth.
Yeah, and people comparing it to certain situations that we know from history that happened in Nazi Germany. And people are like, oh, Godwin's law.
Yeah.
You guys are just, bringing out Hitler because you have no arguments. It's like, well,
the argument is they're doing exactly what Hitler did. So I don't know.
I know. It's
Godwin's law now becoming a look. I mean, they called Trump literally Hitler on mainstream media.
That
for
is
4
Godwin's
years,
law right there.
And they suddenly can't take it. It's really wild. Things have really escalated over the past couple weeks. I mean, forget the escalation over the past 4 years or even 2020. The past couple weeks, the rhetoric has escalated in ways that I thought we were done with.
Yeah, no, we knew they can ramp it up, and we haven't mentioned PCR tests, but they can just dial up the cycle threshold, and you got all kinds of people testing positive again, including people like Fluffy, the comedian, the big Mexican dude. He tested positive.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yep. And he was complaining about how he can't enjoy his birthday cake. And,
actually, I had another story that was an NFL guy, vaccinated NFL guy got it.
Well, Rich Eisen, I think he's like a sports news anchor guy. I don't think he is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was Rich Eisen.
He says, Rich Eisen, NFL. The quote is, "It's possible, folks." NFL Network's Rich Eisen has COVID-19 despite being vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know what you call that, Rich Eisen? You call that a variant factory.
You are the variant.
You are a variant factory.
We're going to close down your timelines.
Yeah.
All right.
How are things going on down south there, Gons?
Not good. I'm going to go to the...
Not good.
Well, LA County specifically. Orange County is a little more, we're a little bit more woke over here.
Yeah.
But you drive north and it's demon town up there. TheSun.com here. Headline, New rules. What is the LA County mask mandate? And it says here, and I love this, they use the Delta Airlines. There's a photo of Delta Airlines for the Delta variant.
I saw some funny memes about Delta variant. Whoever decided to name this variant Delta,
they hate it right now. There's people in the Delta PR team just seething. They're just,
and then of course,
from
Corona.
The yeah.
Finally, you get to. No, it's Corona, like the beer.
Yeah. Them
so
too.
I saw the tweet, which was from Delta. I think it was a fake tweet, but it was from Delta. Whoever decided to name the new variant Delta, F you. Corona replied, welcome to the club, buddy.
Someone needs to take a picture of them in front of the Delta symbol drinking a Corona,
Yeah.
Taking their mask off.
It'll make it into the history books.
An anti-vaccine sign or something.
With a MAGA hat on.
The county's health official, Dr. Muntu Davis, oh man, don't even get me started about this Muntu guy, has since addressed the media.
The LA. He's the LA
county. Oh my
health.
Gosh, it is.
Okay.
Nobody more woke than this one.
I bet.
I'm sorry. Let me read it from the beginning. Los Angeles has reimposed mask-wearing restrictions amid a surge of COVID-19 cases. The county's health office, Dr. Muntu Davis, has since addressed the media to outline the new measures that will be in place I'm glad there were people, at least what I saw on social media, questioning the veracity or the authenticity of something like this. Mm-hmm. When does the mandate start? You'd think, oh my goodness, the cases are skyrocketing, masks immediately. No. The new mask wearing mandate will start at 11:59 p.m. on July 17th, 2021, according to Dr. Muntu Davis. Why wait? What are we waiting for? Like, what if it's such a problem? We're starting in 2 days. It's like,
you have 2 days to go catch the Delta variant. Go now, because you'll have to wear your mask.
Logical sense whatsoever. The mandate will be the same as the one lifted by California's reopening on June 15th, 2021.
You made it 1 month, California.
How long will it last? Dr. Muntu confirmed that the new requirements will take effect until there's significant change in the numbers of COVID-19 numbers. As of June 16th, LA County has recorded a total of 24,566 coronavirus deaths and 1.26 million cases. Davis said, quote, "We expect to keep masking requirements in place until we begin to see improvements in our community transmission of COVID-19. But waiting for us to be at high community transmission level before making a change would be too late." Mm-hmm. He also added that he would not rule out any additional measures that may be introduced. He said, quote, "Anything is on the table if things continue to get worse, which is why we want to take action now." What do you mean anything is on the table? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
arresting
anything,
people?
He says anything.
Shooting
is on the
people?
Table. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Los Angeles has had to reimpose mask wearing after a significant spike in coronavirus infections. On June 15th, more than 1,500 new infections were reported, the highest total of new cases since mid-March. Those figures follow 6 straight days of more than 1,000 new COVID-19 cases reported in Los Angeles County. I wonder what the cycle threshold was on those positive tests, especially if it was done on PCR.
You pointed it out before, and we've been pointing it out since the beginning with the cycle thresholds dial being dialed up. They can just create whatever cases they want.
Yep. Davis confirmed that the county has become a place of, quote, substantial transmission based on criteria set by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Officials also added that around 4 million people in Los Angeles County remain unvaccinated.
Dun, dun, dun.
Those zombies. And 99% of new cases involve those who have not got their shots yet. Mm-hmm. I've seen that said a lot. I've yet to see
everywhere.
I've yet to see actual data.
I was gonna bring
Does
up.
Does anybody
the same
have data
point.
on that, or is it just them saying it?
That's exactly right.
Makes me mad.
Every single news outlet is saying it. Every article says it. We've read it 10 times today on the show. They keep saying 99% of new cases involve those who have not gotten their shots yet. I have not seen one link to a study. I have not seen one link to a CDC website or any data compilations. There's no sources being given for this. And that I'm not saying that I necessarily don't believe it outright. Maybe it's the case, but why is nobody leading us to the source? I don't understand.
Yeah,
maybe because it doesn't exist. I don't know. I don't know if it exists or not. Nobody's telling me.
Okay, this doesn't make any sense because in 2018, the population of Los Angeles, or maybe Los Angeles County. Okay, that's why. Let me double check that because there's 4 million people in Los Angeles and they're saying 4 million people remain unvaccinated. So it's
I think
probably
there's
Los
10
Angeles
million
County.
in the county, around 10 million in the county.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 10 million in 2019. Okay.
Yeah, so that's 60%. Well, see, that's the other interesting thing. There's 60% vaccination rate in Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
You're almost at herd immunity there.
Yeah. They hope that the reintroduction of restrictions can give residents more time to get their vaccine. Oh, they're doing them a favor.
Mm-hmm.
The new mandate states that masks must be worn in all indoor spaces regardless of your vaccination status.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, your vax doesn't count for nothing. And I mean, they're admitting right there, because remember, your mask is not to protect you, it's to protect others. So they're literally saying, they're saying, hey, all you vaccinated people, you're spreading coronavirus. Wear your mask, vaccinated people. You're getting all the non-vaccinated people sick.
Yeah, it's unreal, man. It comes after the Health County Department suggested that people wear masks when inside grocery or retail stores, as well as theaters and family entertainment centers and workplaces. So basically everywhere.
Yeah.
Davis did not fully detail what he said would be some exceptions, but said that, for example, people could still go out to eat and take off their masks only while eating and drinking.
Yes, because COVID isn't transmissible if you're eating. If you have French fries going in, spike protein can't come out. It's science.
LA is one of several jurisdictions to recommend or mandate wearing masks or other pandemic restrictions in recent weeks as cases rise to worrisome levels in many parts of the U.S. As of June 28, these are the U.S. states and territories with mask mandates. You have American Samoa, you got California, Connecticut, District of Columbia, Guam, Hawaii, Illinois, Nevada, New Mexico, New York. So there you go.
What was that a list of? I tuned out for a second. What was that?
The places that have mask mandates.
It said, why is it telling us Guam has mask mandates? That's
U.S. states and territories.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's why it mentions American Samoa too. So
yeah, Guam, Illinois, Nevada. You got to mask up in Vegas, huh?
Apparently.
Okay.
And New Mexico and New York.
Well, this next story is a bit of a combo story, but I think it belongs in this segment here. This is coming from the New York Times. The headline, Haiti receives its first shipment of vaccines. 500,000 doses from the U.S. Really?
Yeah, so...
Really? A week or days, rather.
Yeah.
Days after the Haitian president is assassinated, suddenly they start receiving doses from the U.S. A little suspicious, sus, if you will. A shipment of 500,000 COVID vaccine doses from the United States have arrived in Haiti on Wednesday, the first shots to reach a nation thrown into turmoil after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. The donation is part of the Biden administration's effort to bolster lagging vaccination campaigns. Oh, yeah. So these are Biden's expired trash vaccines that he sent over. The donation is part of the Biden administration's effort to bolster lagging vaccination campaigns in the world's poorer countries and will be distributed by COVAX, the global vaccine sharing effort, according to a statement by the Pan American Health Organization, part of the World Health Organization. Quote, the arrival of these vaccines is quite promising, and now the challenge is to get them to the people that need them most, the PAHO director, Carissa F. Etienne said in the statement. Haiti is one of a handful of countries worldwide and the only one in Latin America or the Caribbean that have yet to begin a COVID vaccination program, leaving it at risk of the highly infectious Delta variant circulates the globe. The country has recorded fewer than 20,000 coronavirus cases and 487 deaths, according to New York Times data, but experts believe that number to be an undercount because of low levels of testing. Nice little estimation there. Interesting. So Haiti is the only Latin American or Caribbean country to begin a vaccination program. The only one. And,
yet to begin a vaccination program.
Do you think maybe that their ex-president had something to do with that?
Yeah, it's a little suspicious in terms of the optics. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to read this headline from a week ago. Haiti's president assassinated in nighttime raid, shaking a fragile nation. And then the next headline, Haiti receives its first shipment of vaccines, 500,000 doses from the U.S.
I'm not suggesting anything, but it is interesting, the series of events. The president is the one Latin American and Caribbean president to refuse vaccination. Then a strange assassination attempt or a successful assassination attempt that we now know was filled with DEA and FBI informants, U.S. intelligence agency informants, assassinated the president of Haiti. And then suddenly, 5 days later, they are being delivered vaccines from the U.S. It's just a very... just an interesting series of events, folks.
Not saying it happened, but what could have happened is...
Oh, I don't even think we need to postulate what could have happened, Gons.
All right.
We're not here. We are not here to create conspiracy theories. All we do here is read the mainstream news. So if anybody thinks that we are conspiracizing here, we're not. I'm just laying out the publicly available mainstream media series of events, which is that the president of Haiti was the only Latin American or Caribbean president not to allow vaccination in his country. He is assassinated by informants of the FBI and DEA, and then suddenly vaccines come flowing into the country. And that's just laying out the timeline. Marie-Greta Hoy-Clement, Haiti's public health minister, said that doses provided by the United States would be administered free of charge, but she did not specify who would receive the shots first. The U.S. shipment was of the Moderna vaccine. The Associated Press reported, quote, "This first allocation of vaccines puts an end to a long period of waiting." Dr. Clement said, quote, "Not only for the Haitian population, but also for the people of the region who were very concerned that Haiti was the only country in the Americas that had not yet introduced the COVID-19 vaccine." Even before the president's assassination on July 7th, political instability and lack of resources were hampering Haiti's response to a new outbreak of the virus. Last month, administrators at a hospital outside Port-au-Prince, the capital, turned away patients because its wards were full. Hospitals have added beds, but doctors warn there's not enough medical oxygen to treat patients if cases rise further. Officials said that the United States would send more vaccines to Haiti soon as the Biden administration speeds up delivery of its 12 million doses it has pledged for countries in the Caribbean and Latin America. About 4 million doses have been delivered so far to Bolivia, El Salvador, Honduras, according to the Pan American Health Organization. There you go. Take it for what you will, folks. We just read the news.
Sounds to me like it's
everybody out there offered a vaccine. Don't ask any questions. Please take it.
Or
please
killed.
Take it.
Or get killed. Die.
Gons. No, that's crazy talk. It's just a coincidence.
Just a hypothetical.
Just a hypothetical.
All right. We got one positive news out of all this terrible
good. It
news.
is a bit of an intense day, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Tell me something good. APnews.com. Spain's top court rules pandemic lockdown unconstitutional.
Spain? Gods, we need to move to Spain.
Hey, I don't mind. Barcelona. Spain's constitutional court ruled Wednesday that a strict stay-at-home lockdown order the Spanish government issued under a state of emergency during the first wave of COVID-19 last year was unconstitutional. While upholding most terms of the state of emergency, the court said provisions ordering the population off the streets except for shorts shopping... what?
If you got to go buy shorts.
Oh,
it says shorts shopping trips. So if you need to go buy a new pair of shorts, you can go on the streets.
All right. Unavoidable work commutes or other essential business violated Spain's constitution. The court issued a brief statement that described the ruling as a split decision. State broadcaster TVE. What was the name of the
Time Variance Authority?
Oh, TVA. Okay.
TVA. Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
According to the TVA, the court majority ruled.
The little Loki reference there.
Yes, that Loki has taken over Spain.
State broadcaster TVE said 6 magistrates were in favor and 5 against. Ooh, that was close. The full decision is expected to be released in the coming days. According to TVE, the court majority ruled that the limitations on movement violates citizens' basic rights And the state of emergency was a constitutionally insufficient mechanism to do that. The 6 magistrates said a state of exception, which does allow the government to suspend basic rights, would have been necessary. Justice Minister Pilar Lop said that her government, quote, will uphold but does not share the decision on the inadequacy of the emergency declaration, quote, that saved hundreds and thousands of lives. Wow, spoken like a true politician there. Like, yeah. Quote, the home confinement rule declared under the state of emergency, along with the exemplary behavior of citizens, allowed us to stop the virus, Lop said, adding that it was similar to orders given by other European governments. Yeah, but the whole point is that even the other governments were being unconstitutional or against the human rights.
Yeah, I love the logic of that. But other governments did it. I wanted to do it.
Yeah, they did it. It saved lives. We did it. It saved lives. The Constitutional Court made its ruling in response to a lawsuit brought by Spain's far-right Vox party. Vox leader Santiago Abascal called Wednesday for Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez to step down. Quote, we cannot celebrate the decision because we have proof that the government was willing to break the law and tarnish the Constitution, Abascal said. Spain's government declared the state of emergency on March 14th, 2020, 3 days after the World Health Organization said the spread of the coronavirus has become a pandemic and it's spooky and it will kill you. With Spain's hospitals filling up, Sanchez's left-wing coalition government won parliamentary backing, including from Vox lawmakers, for the state of emergency. It goes into a little more history here. I mean, there's not much more to the story other than to say that good for the courts. We'll see if it holds up.
Yeah, I mean, good for Spain, even to just get that recognized in the high courts of Spain is pretty impressive.
I was going to say more freedom in Barcelona than Los Angeles. In the United
or
States.
At least a recognition of the overreach of the government.
Yeah,
I mean, even that would be a breath of fresh air.
I know.
Here.
Yeah, a little.
Can
victory.
we just admit that you just overstepped your boundaries a little bit? I guess we got it state by state. California and New York were sort of held to account a little bit, but yeah, not federally for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm tired of all the bad news from the vax.
Yeah, we got some good news coming up here, Gons, and let's talk about all the good stuff here during the break.
It's break time!
Come on, take a break, folks. Put your feet up. We're just going to take a little break. We're going to celebrate some producers, look at some art, some jingles, some fun stuff. It's going to be great. But don't go anywhere, because after the break, we've got the politics section. You're not going to want to miss that. And we've got another CRISPR update that you're also going to want to be enlightened to. But first, we're just going to take a quick little break, thank some people, have some fun, and remind everybody about the value for value model. That's right. Look, even Candace Owens has now gotten on the affiliate ship advertising model, trying to sell you an FBI Freedom Phone.
You've been sitting on that all show. You've been waiting for the break.
Candace Owens. I never thought that I could drag Candace Owens for selling out.
You better be careful.
Ships.
What? You're a white male.
Good point. I got to watch my words. I think Candace, though, is going to want to be careful affiliating herself with this. This has a potential to hurt some credibility for good old Candace. So, I'm not saying that she's forever lost, but she took a misstep getting so excited about this phone. But anyways, you'll find no advertisements here, folks. No affiliate codes, no super mail enhancement supplements to be sold. Nope. We are entirely on the value for value model, which is a simple model. It's us creating value. We do the show. We do it 3 times a week. We haven't stopped since February of 2020. And we're just going to keep on going. And if you get any value out of what we do, you get just the opportunity to put some value back in. It's easy. And you're not just simply a charitable individual or a generous donor or anything like that. You are also a producer of the show, because it's the real world. If you help finance a piece of media to be produced, you are a producer. I got a note here, a note that came from one of our producers, one of our generous producers for the day. And we've been trying to read as many notes that producers come in with to help us explain what the value for value model means for them. And here we go. This one came from Marcus F., who we'll thank later. But he had a little part of his note here I wanted to read. You got any background music or maybe some piano or something we can add to this? What do you got laying around?
I got a slow jam loop. You want that, or do you want a rock loop?
Slow jam. Let's slow jam. Let me hear it. Oh yeah. Do you wake up tired? Do you have trouble sleeping? Do you toss and turn throughout the night with the haunting feeling that you have not accomplished something in your mundane 9-to-5 grind? Talk to your primary care physician about becoming a patron for Canary Cry Radio, and you might be next in line to experience perfect night's sleep throughout your weeks. That's right, Canary Cry News Talk. Become a producer today. Thank you, Marcus F., for that nice little thing there. That's right. Marcus F. became a producer and can finally sleep at night again. It's really a relief. And, it's funny. He's making a funny joke, but it's also kind of true. We hear this a lot, that there is a sense, a sort of burden that gets lifted, and it might refer to sort of the spiritual aspect of the value for value model that I've been talking about recently, where we talk about advertising, and it's certainly an economic model that has gained control over the world. I mean, the internet is a different place now, with things like big data and privacy concerns all being justified by the advertising model, where, we just need your data because we'll give you advertisements you like. We'll monetize your mind and slowly control you in ways that push you towards spending money on stuff you don't need, because trust us, you'll be happier for it. And, on one hand, it is ridiculous and it is just economics, but there is a spiritual aspect to that cannot be avoided. And I really do believe in the spiritual implications of the value for value model. You're putting your treasure in a place where your heart really resides. And if your heart resides in being able to analyze and deconstruct the mainstream media, see past the illusion, the grand illusion built around us, then participating in the value for value model is a practical step towards freeing yourself, and not just in some sort of magical, woo-woo way, but taking the first step to actively disconnecting from advertising and, the mindset where everything should be free and I'll just watch advertisements. Because, of course, we all know that, even if we think we're getting something for free, if we are being advertised to, we are not the client. We are the product being sold over and over again, our minds, our attention, our trust, and it's just not the right way to live our lives. So we thank the producers of the show, and we'll thank them now for raising a rebel fist against the advertising model and taking that step away from relying on big tech and advertising companies to bring us what they think will not bring us peace or truth, but to bring us closer to spending that extra dollar on something we don't need. Gons, are you ready to thank some people?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, well, the first way to become a producer is to head on over to patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk. Patreon.com/CCNT. And we have one producer coming in over there on the Patreon, Gons, and that is our dear, dear new friend, producer B. Just the letter B.
Ooh,
so
thank
mysterious.
You, Producer B.
Yes, thank you, Producer B. We appreciate that very much. Now, we also have patreon.com/CanaryCry.Radio. That's right, patreon.com/CanaryCry.Radio. You are currently listening to Canary Cry News Talk, but Canary Cry Radio is our interview style show we've been doing since 2012. We highly recommend checking it out. There's 100 and something episodes that you can go check out. It's great long form interviews, as well as some duo episodes that you and I do, Guns. Very highly produced. It's a great show, and if you're looking for something to listen to, there's a lot of great foundational material there for you to flesh out some understanding of the Canary Cry universe. But I want to thank our new producer over at patreon.com/CanaryCry.Radio, and that is producer Marcus F.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you very much, producer Marcus F. And he had a longer note here that I'm going to read now. He came in at the 3306 level. Thank you very much, Marcus. He says, "Ahoy, gents." Oh, he's a pirate. Okay, thank you. Captain Marcus F. "Ahoy, gents. I am a long-time listener that is way past due on returning the value that I receive from your show. Hope this helps out. For your listeners, I would like to say this has been..." Okay, all right. No, I can't keep that on for the whole thing. Captain Marcus F. says, for your listeners, I would like to say this has been on my heart to subscribe to the Patreon for quite some time. I finally did it. A burden has lifted, and now I can sleep peacefully knowing my treasure is being well invested in quality information given by two reliable gentlemen. And then there's the part that I read at the top of the show there, or top of the segment. And then he goes on to say, "Love you guys. Keep up the good work, Basil. The only critique I can give..." Oh, geez. All right, Basil, the only critique I can give is tighten up your V for V model rant and don't be afraid to talk over some of the endings of the jingles. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's constructive. Thank you very much. Go with flow, baby. I will go with flow, baby. You and all the Canarians are a rare breed of awesome that I find peace with knowing I'm a part of. Good luck. Said God luck and Godspeed, my friends. Thank you very much, Producer Marcus.
Thank you, Producer Marcus. Appreciate that.
And that wraps it up for our Patreon producers here. But a lot of people don't like Patreon. Maybe you don't like Patreon. That's okay. You don't have to use Patreon. That's why we have CanaryCryRadio.com/support. CanaryCryRadio.com/support. That's right. CanaryCryRadio.com/support is an excellent way to become a producer of the show. You can go read about the value for value model. You can read about the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. You can support the show with your cryptocurrency. And even more fun, you can become a monthly producer of the show with a sustaining producership. It's a nice set it and forget it option. But if commitment is not your thing, you can go ahead and make a one-time producership in any amount that you would like. It's great. You can pick any number. It's fun. Our general rule is if it's a nice round number, $10, $20, whatever it is, we don't read the amount. It's a good way to stay anonymous. But if you don't mind us reading the amount on the show, make it something funky, $33, add 33 cents to whatever it is, $19.84, $17.76, whatever it is. If it looks funky, we'll read the amount on the show. Gons, who do we have coming in on PayPal?
On PayPal, we want to first thank all the recurring producers out there, as well as the Knights and Dames who support us through your producership. Really appreciate it. For today, this is going to be exciting because
we have an exciting executive producer here.
First executive producer here is Aaron J.
Woo! Aaron J.
Executive.
Aaron J is our executive producer for this episode of Canary Cry News Talk, episode 363. And Aaron J came in with a whopping $1,000.33.
Crazy.
Yes, so he is.
What's the occasion?
He's reached max maximum Illuminati shill status. Thank you very much, Aaron J. And he sends a note here, and this is the fun part. The note reads, if we are making artist knights and dames, I'd like to request this goes to Dove to make him a knight if he isn't already. And if he chooses to accept it, I think this is enough. But if not, shout up and take my money. Well, it's very tempting, Aaron, to raise the stakes for you. But thank you very much. And this is great. 2 episodes in a row, we've had producership benefactors send in the amount to knight artists, producer artists of the show. Of course, those who just catch the show on the Face Like the Sun channel missed last episode where producer Allie was knighted. She is now Dame Allie. And today we will be, we are thanking Aaron J for being the patron of producer Dove, who will be knighted into Knight Dove. So there you go. We actually did not tell Dove before the show. So if you're listening live or you're listening later, Dove, what a wonderful surprise for you. So you need to make sure to send in your knighting information. We'll reach out via email. So there you go. Thank you very much, executive producer Aaron J, for making this an exciting producership segment.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think Dove is really excited about that because really Allie and Dove have been very consistent with the art.
Yeah.
And we know there were others, we miss certain people with the art that were consistent. Producer Grace was doing it for a while. I haven't seen much from
88 was
88,
a wonderful addition. Jay Vela, of course. There's too many to name, so I don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah.
But yes, what a fun trend going on. And who knows, maybe this will encourage some artists to get back on their grind. Come on, artists. You never know. Some mysterious wealthy benefactor out there might pay for your knighthood. So there you go, Dove. We'll be happy to welcome you to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. But let's keep going, Gons.
All right. Next up, we have producer Timothy H.
Producer Timothy H coming in with $77.77. Ooh, that's a fanny pack full of sevens, folks.
Oh, gosh.
The note, Basil and Gons, thank you for your work. This show is an immense value. You guys have a beautiful friendship. Thank you for sharing it with us. Gons, we do have a beautiful friendship. Do you ever just stop and think and you're like, wow, I can't believe I've been friends with that weirdo for 10 years, more than 10 years. And look at us now. Who would have thought back in 2011 when we were both toiling away in the tech department of a megachurch that we would have had such a long-lasting friendship?
Yeah, my wife says that I am borderline polygamist with some friends, including yours.
Yeah.
So I'm not someone that has like a whole bunch of friends, but. What's up?
Oh, she's saying that I'm your second wife.
Yeah, she calls me. She calls you the other wife. Oh, are you talking to your other wife? And then she goes, "Which one?" Because I got a couple friends that are close.
Yes. Well, see, there you go. It has been a strange 10 years, Gons, but we do have a beautiful friendship. Thank you for recognizing that, producer Timothy H.
Yeah, appreciate that and appreciate your producership, Timothy H. Next up, we have Jason O.
Thank you very much, producer Jason O. Now, Jason O came in with 2 separate producerships here, and it'll make sense in a second. And sends a note. Says, love you guys. If you like anti-satanic world oligarchy folk rap music, you'll dig our tunes. We just released Science of Compliance. Ooh. We're also half Japanese. So if you don't like it, it's probably just systemic racism or something like that. That's funny. And then sent another note here. Well, I forgot to mention our YouTube channel name. So if you like anti-satanic world oligarchy folk rap music, you'll dig our tunes. Check out our new tune, Science of Compliance, on OBL Music at YouTube. Thank you again. Peace.
Pull that up
Music.
Real quick to take a look here.
Yeah, we probably should have checked that out beforehand.
I know. You didn't mention anything about this one, so
honestly, I did not read the note. I just pasted. I was leaving it as a surprise.
How dare you?
Here it is. OBL Music. They got 44 videos. Okay.
Should we play a little bit, or do you think it's too?
I'm sure that they are family friendly, but we should probably listen to them before we blast it. But if it's good, we can play it later. And thank you very much, producer Jason O. And OBL Music. There you go, folks. Get all your anti-satanic world oligarchy folk rap music. I mean, honestly, it sounds like a slam dunk.
It sounds like a perfect combination of. Well, I'm not a huge rap fan.
Yeah,
but I'll listen to it if it has, folk in it and also anti-satanic world oligarchy.
I know the ingredients are all there, so I'm sure they mixed it up and baked it just right to make it a yummy little music cake. I don't know. I lost control of the metaphor.
All right. Well, next we have producer. Oh, I'm sorry. Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
That's right. Sir Casey the Shield Knight, who is a knight of the Canary Cry Roundtable. Now, Sir Casey the Shield Knight came in with $33.33 and a note here that said Illuminati streak with an eyeball and there's some emojis there. Now, Sir Casey the Shield Knight, you are on a streak.
Oh, here you go.
Why don't you play it the whole one for him? Play him the long one. That's right. You are on a streak, Sir Casey. Although maybe there is a little mix-up in your counting there. You are, and I went back and I checked this multiple times. You are on a streak, 32 episodes in a row. So you are one episode away from the official Illuminati streak. But maybe you're just getting amped up. I get it. It's good. So Sir Casey, our currently constantly record-setting streak producer. That's right. One more episode, and he's on 33 episodes in a row. So we'll catch you on Monday, Sir Casey. Don't miss out. I've been working on the new streak title. Gons, I don't know if you've looked at my notes, but I'm working on it.
Ooh, I haven't. Let me take a look real quick.
Yeah, go take a look.
I haven't seen it here, so.
Yes, it's top secret info right now, but I'm just, it's a little bit of a word salad right now, but it's going to be great when it's all polished up.
I'm not seeing anything progress past 21 streak, but I don't know. Am I missing something here?
Oh, I didn't save it. Here, I'll save it. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, we're getting there. All right, who's next?
That's a good one. Where are we? What are we doing? Oh, okay, we're past Sir Casey the Shield Knight. Next up, we have producer Malik W.
Thank you very much. Producer Malik W. also comes in with a fanny pack full of threes here, 3333, and sends a note. Could I request the producer's prayers as I travel from Kansas to Florida with my family this weekend? There you go. Calling all producers. Do we have a producers jingle? I feel like we had one at one point.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's not immediate here.
It's okay. We'll have to load it up for next time. But calling all producers to the Canarium. Craniarium? Oh, geez, I messed that up. Producers who are our wonderful prayer warriors of the Canarium. Here you go. We got one for the list. Malik W. He's going to be traveling from Kansas to Florida with his family. Malik, we got you covered. Amen.
Amen. All right. Safe travels there. Next up, we have producer Merjana T.
Yeah, I
Am I saying that right?
I don't know. I wish I would have looked up this phonetic pronunciation. It's Merhana, maybe? Merhana T.
Sounds like
something. One of those. I cast a wide net. But thank you very much for your producership.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I didn't see a note.
I didn't either.
Okay.
But thank you. Not a name I recognize, so I think maybe new producer
I know.
here.
There's nothing worse than having someone call out your name on a podcast and just totally botch it. So I apologize. It's
kind of like
fault.
how Adam Curry said Ginzo Shimura.
Ginzo, yes,
like,
yeah. Or when people call me Basil all the time. I get it. I know it's you try to slough it off, and it probably happens all the time. But I really want to get it right. So go ahead and send us a phonetic spelling if you'd like us to do better.
All right, next up we have Amanda K.
Thank you very much. Producer Amanda K coming in sends a note. Hey, guys, here's the $20 that didn't go through on Patreon. Okay. You guys make the news worth my time. I'm 33 and ADHD, so I can't do commercials. Sister, I hear you.
Yeah. Real.
Whether I garden, clean house, or organize my kids' 10 billion Legos, that's a lot of Legos. Your show is my go-to for real. Pyrovirus. Oh, Pyrovirus. Oh, we probably should have read your name as producer Pyrovirus. Well, thank you very much, Pyrovirus. Have you ever seen a Pyrovirus in the chat?
I don't know. I don't recognize it per se.
Maybe she's on Canary Cry community.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Pyrovirus, Amanda K. And good luck in your 33rd year and with your ADHD. Maybe you got some cool meds. I don't know what your deal is, but glad we're here for you.
Yep, for sure. Next up, we have James H.
James H is on a streak. You are keeping it going, James. 15 episodes in a row. That means James, he's a rocket man.
Oh, rocket. Oh.
Rocket man. You went with that one, huh?
Oh, I didn't have the other one loaded.
Oh, okay.
But I'll play it.
I realize where that's from now. That's from the trailer for the Elton John movie, isn't it?
Technically, it is. I grabbed it from the Elton John ISO, because you know how on YouTube they have like the isolated vocal tracks of songs and stuff like that. So that's what that was. And then I put the rocket sound effect in the background that probably needs to be a little quieter. And a couple boom booms, and you got your. But I think the one that was sent in today is going to work a little better.
Yeah, let's play that.
Okay, which one? 3 or 4? Or both?
4. Do 4.
Rocket. A rocket, man.
So we'll be thanking Runk Smash later in the show for sending in some clips. But you guessed it, folks. That is Shatner singing Rocket Man. I'm a rocket man. I'm a rocket man. Oh my gosh, what a silly boy.
William.
Thank you very much, James H. And James H came in with 777. A little pocket full of sevens there. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks, Rocket Man. See you next episode.
Yeah, you got the Billy Shatner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up we have Tristan H.
Tristan H is on a streak.
They're on a streak.
That's right. Coming in 19 episodes in a row. Thank you very much. Tristan H came in with 2 producerships for today. The first one was in the amount of $4.08. I have no idea what that means. Second one was $3.63. That's the show number producership for episode 363. Now, I did add those together, Gons, and it comes out to, let's see if I can do it again. There's 11. It came out to $7.71.
Oh,
$7.71. So he almost combined them to $7.77. But Tristan is just sending secret CIA messages through numbers again.
Sure.
So thanks, Tristan.
Thank you, Tristan. Next up, we have producer Scott K.
Thank you very much. Scott K is on a streak.
They're on a streak.
25 episodes in a row. And comes in with 363 for the show number producership. Thanks, Scott K.
Thank you, Scott K. Next up, James G.
James G coming in with a pocket full of 3s, 333. A very interesting note here. I send these small amounts so that my wife doesn't notice. JK, she found out, and now I'm in trouble for donating.
Oh, no.
I'm donating to tell you donating has ruined my life.
Oh, no.
And so has the V for V model. Thanks, guys. Yours truly, the friendly Freemason. Oh, we have a Freemason coming in and decrying the name of the value for value model. He's trying to take us down from the inside, folks. Don't listen to him. But also, apparently, we're home wreckers, Gons, because his wife did not like him sending in a pocket full of 3s. Well, thanks anyways, James G. We appreciate the producership.
You can tell your wife we appreciate holding back on the packs of gum.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if $3.33 gets you in that much trouble, it might not be our fault. There's probably a lot of some other things going on. But that's not for me to say. James G, here, your family, buddy.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
Next up, we have producer Kim W.
Kim W is on a streak.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'll play this one for her because
she's on a streak.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
We have gender-specific jingles.
Okay, we're so heteronormative around here. But get another jingle ready because she's on a streak. 18 episodes in a row. That means Kim W is going supernova.
This is Charlie, November Tango. You are approaching supernova. Repeat, you are approaching supernova.
That's right. Coming in with pocket full of threes, 333, and sends a verse here, or some verses. Matthew 5:13. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Thank you very much, Kim W.
Shoo, hallelujah.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, producer Kim. Next up, we have Gail M.
Gail M. And Gail M. came in on the Patreon last episode, and Gail is on a streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
That's right. 2 episodes in a row, coming in with 333. Thank you very much, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
I'm starting to wonder, maybe this isn't Gail's crater, the landing site of the previous Mars rover. Maybe this is an actual human. So thank you very much, Gail.
Oh, yeah. And last but not least here, we have Rebecca B.
Rebecca B coming in hot. Thank you very much. Also on a streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
2 episodes in a row. 2 episodes in a row. Coming in with 333. Yeah, that was great. A lot of 333s today. Wonderful.
Yep.
Wow. What a productive segment, man. This was great. Thank you to all the producers, the financial producers who come in and help the show out. But as you all know, financially is not the only way to produce the show. Gons?
Yeah, you can produce a show with your time and talent. Different ways to contribute to the show. You can contribute with your time, as Christine C. did, by providing us timestamps for episode 362.
Thank you very much, Christine C.
We appreciate that. Give you a little gong here.
Was it?
What?
Was it Christine C?
Hold on, let me double check.
I think it might have been Rachel.
Was it?
But also, this is your gig. I don't mean to step on your gig here. But I thought the
you're right. It's Rachel.
Okay.
I did not update it. I'm sorry, Rachel. Okay, it was Rachel.
Rachel, I got your back,
Rachel. Yeah, there's too much going on with it. Rachel C., thank you so much for the timestamps. That was my mistake for not updating the document.
Got it.
Yes, it was Rachel C. who did the timestamps for episode 362.
Thank you.
So we thank you for that. We don't have any birthdays to mention today, I don't think, or except we did have one.
We did. It was Amanda. Well, I guess it wasn't her birthday. She just mentioned she was 33.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
You got excited, but it's okay.
Yeah, I thought we had one waiting.
Okay. But we did receive a jingle, or a couple of them. We already played one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the William Shatner Rocket Man. I sent us a few of them here. I got a couple of this first one here.
Rocket Man, burning out his fuse out here alone.
I like that
one. Love it. Yeah.
But this one's good too, the one we played.
Rocket Man. A rocket, man.
It's just the gap between Rocket and Rocket Man is very...
I know. His silence says even more.
I know.
Than anything else. I forgot to tell you to pick, there's one, look, he sent us a lot of great snippets from that video. We're not going to play all of them, but thank you very much, Runk Smash. Those were our favorites.
Yeah, thank you, Runk Smash.
there was Shatner on Science. I forgot that was a different one we should have grabbed. It's a great little science. You want to grab that real quick?
Which one is it? Sorry,
it's the last one. Just Shatner on Science.
Shatner, Mars colonization, Shatner on Science. Here it is.
There it is. Yeah, I forgot that there's sort of a mix of things that he sent us there. Thank you very much, Eric. I will stall by singing a little song. Okay, good.
Well, unless people want to hear your song.
No, I was just going to sing Rocket Man.
And all this science, I don't understand.
Oh, it's so good.
This science, I don't understand.
You know,
we know Shatner. We know.
If there's if there was one Hollywood star career that I would want to live, it might be William Shatner, just because he was in early Twilight Zones. And he really didn't have to change his persona.
Just a living, breathing satire of himself.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to really act, He just kind of...
I have to believe that was a choice. Like, he's got kind of a sense of humor. You see him in interviews and stuff. He's kind of trying to float on the sort of 70s devil may care type of bad boy type of vibe. I must believe, because it will shatter my world if he truly is like unironic in his whole career.
Right.
I have to believe that, it was just part of the act. You just do the same thing over and over, and that's what the people want. No need to try anything new. He's a living, breathing piece of art.
And I think it's interesting because when you look at some of his earlier material, it's early acting, he was a little more serious, but then it just got more ironic as he went along.
He caught on. Like, I think at some point he kind of caught on that he was a bit of a joke, and just really, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean, he was an icon, I guess, more than a joke, and then just sort of leaned into it. It was like, yeah, I found my thing. I'm going to do it. People love it. I get paid a ton of money for it. Why would I change? I love it.
All right, so thank you for that, Runk Smash.
We have a new jingle.
Should have been playing that at the beginning, but
Yeah, and thank you for providing an incentive for me to go off on a rant about the life and magic of Shatner.
I like how you try to channel Shatner a little bit there.
I honestly didn't mean to, but yeah, the spirit must have been moving at that moment.
All right, time for some art.
One art, please.
And our first piece of art comes from Dame Alley.
That's right.
One art, please. Another one from Alley now. Here it is.
That's let me get the full name here.
That's Dame Alley to you.
Memorize the name here. It's Dame Alley of the Skillet Nation, daughter of the High King of Heaven.
That's right.
That's the full title there.
That's right.
And this piece is it's pretty funny. Caption: We were discussing how Jeff Bezos seems to keep adding random passengers to his upcoming space flight, and we thought it would be hilarious if he invited his entire kindergarten class. Dame Alley upped the ante and potentially kept the passenger list more manageable by specifying that only living members of his kindergarten class would be included. Fun fact, the bottom picture, which I'll show here, is Bezos. Well, this is Bezos at the bottom. From a photo he provided to the Montessori school. He qualifies for the flight as a theoretically still living member of his kindergarten class.
Yeah. And yes, this is great. So it's like a yearbook style grid of children's faces here. And it says at the top, Bezos invites living members of his kindergarten class to join him on space flight. And this is referring to, I'm sure you saw this, Gons, that the person who spent $28 million to ride to space with him, quote, had a scheduling conflict.
I saw that. How do you...
I don't know.
I think that might be just their way of saying, never mind.
Well, you know what I think? Okay, so instead of the 20 person who paid $28 million, Bezos is bringing some 18-year-old. So yes, he's sort of playing it fast and loose with whoever's coming on this flight with him. You know what this makes me suspect? That in the bidding, the auction, that's why it got to 28 mil, was there's an auction for who is going to fly with him. I think maybe they got caught cushioning the bidding. You know how they may be trying to squeeze it. You know, they're trying to up the bidding by having Bezos has his brother go bid or some assistant go raise the bidding to 28 million, and it backfired. And the person that they were trying to squeeze stopped bidding, and then Bezos was left to pay for his own $28 million ticket. And so, oh no, how do we get out of this? Oh, we really screwed up. Oh, we'll just say that they had a scheduling conflict. They can't go because they have kept this $28 million auction winner. They never released the name. They never announced who it was. And then suddenly there's a scheduling conflict. I think that he was cushioning the bids. He was bidding against someone trying to raise the price, accidentally won, and had to figure out, they can't come. It's a scheduling conflict. Who was it? Oh, it doesn't matter. They can't come. So now we'll bring this 18-year-old. Do you know who the 18-year-old was? I didn't actually.
I saw it. It was some, what was it? Scandinavian kid or something. I can look it up here.
Yeah. Well, this is a great piece of art, Dame Allie. And yes, at this point, he might as this is also referring to the fact that, it was his childhood dream and his brother's childhood dream. So we're going to bring the brother, of course. Yeah. Oh, the 28 million guy can't come. Okay, we'll just open it up to all children in my kindergarten class who had a dream of going to space. Pack it in. Come on, kids.
There's a Dutch student. His name is Oliver Damon, like a demon, but...
sure.
Damon.
Got him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, lucky kid, I guess.
I don't know.
Is he the son of some elite or something?
I don't know, probably. I'm sure we can dig that rabbit trail.
Here's what we keep an eye out for. If Bezos or SpaceX gets some sort of Dutch contract. Could be a little trade going on here. Maybe the Dutch need to send up a satellite, or the Dutch some sort of money will be, some sort of contract will go to SpaceX. Not SpaceX, I'm sorry, Blue Origin.
Blue Origin, yep. Yeah, poop on the streets, but this 18-year-old going to space. Breaking rules.
Okay, you're just burning the Dutch for no reason.
I didn't say anything about the Dutch.
The Dutch Queen Maxima just used FLIPPY to open a new bridge.
Maybe they're doing things better over there, because I don't think is there a homeless problem on the streets of
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you're thinking of San Francisco. But also, by the way, we did not receive any photographs of the Dutch Queen Maxima and FLIPPY.
Maybe it was all propaganda. Maybe it was an AI story that didn't even happen.
We didn't get any pics from the King's kid. Lloyd, producer Lloyd, the Canary Cry Dutchman.
That's right.
What's going on, Lloyd? Come on.
That's right.
Send us an email. I want to know about this. I want to know about Maxima. I want to know about this FLIPPY.
We need some boots on the ground.
Go to this bridge, Lloyd. It's in the red light district of Amsterdam. What, are you not wandering around the red light district enough?
I Googled a Dutch.
Now we're sending producers to the red light district to take pictures of a bridge.
On that, I typed in, I was looking for Dutch Maxima, and then I just typed in Dutch Maxim, and it pulled up something completely different.
Oh, I'm sure there's some crazy things in there. Yeah.
Maxim magazine.
Lloyd, get at us, Lloyd.
All right. Thank you, producer Dame Allie. Got to get used to that.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, next up. Sorry, I got a message from the wife. She's mad that I looked up accidentally Googled Maxim right in that moment. She texted me with some laser eyes.
Yeah.
Next up, we have producer. Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be Sir Dove.
Yes, Sir to be
Dove. Yeah, this is a lot of transition going on here. So
I know.
But there's another great piece here. He says, "Peace. Had the idea for this one last week after hearing about the Sun Valley summer camp for billionaires that Allen and Company throws annually. The world's elite gather here every year to unwind in the woods, participating in such activities as the three-legged race, balloon tosses, trust falls, and the ever-challenging ropes course. However, this year's peaceful gateway was interrupted.
Getaway.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? Gateway? This year's peaceful getaway was interrupted by bullhorn toting children upset by the private jet traffic jam and cows. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins. That's Dove.
You know
what?
This
is great.
Sir to be soon to be Sir Dove. One thing, the art is always fantastic. The details are incredible, but more than anything, Dove just makes me feel heard, you know? You just really know he's listening while we're ranting about billionaire summer camps and stuff, because he nails it on the details every time. And as advertised here, we're the setting, a wooded forest, a ropes course. And on one side of the ropes course, we've got Bill Gates here. He's all hooked up in his harness. He's barreling down the camera with a very menacing look, wearing a purple jacket. And if you zoom in, that's can you read that? It's Lolita something. What does it say?
It says Lolita clothing. LC.
Yes, he's wearing his Lolita clothing, his purple puffy jacket. And on the other side, we've got a very challenging looking ropes course here, like a rope bridge with logs across it. And on the other side, belaying Gates, we have Mark Zuckerberg, the number one lizard person. He's wearing shorts. Okay, hold on. First of all, he's wearing Crocs. So there you go. He's got his Crocs on, doing the summer camp thing. And then he's wearing pants with shorts over the pants. Look, we all know that guy. He's got his Crocs on. He's wearing some leggings with shorts over the leggings. Why isn't he just wearing pants? I don't know. Nobody knows, but he's over there. He's doing a great job keeping Gates safe. But not to be outdone, right next to him, we've got Jeff Bezos. He's also helping out. He's got his gloves on, holding onto the rope. They're he looks like he's belaying Zuckerberg as Zuckerberg is belaying Gates. I don't know how ropes courses go. That seems like it should work. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, of course, we've got Greta with a bullhorn. She's looking very angry at these billionaires, just trying to enjoy some team-building exercises. And, of course, the bullhorn is emblazoned with the Chinese Communist Party flag, I believe. Nope, I can't get close enough. What does it say?
It says, "You're melting the ice wall, you jerks."
Wow, that is good. Melting the ice wall. Flat Earther Greta.
Flat Earth Greta.
You heard it here first, folks. Greta is a flat earther.
And she's got the skulls on her shirt.
Yes, she's prepped.
One of the details you missed was the Gates water from a couple of pieces of art ago.
Yeah. And one last one up in the top left corner. Of course, two little canaries sitting on a branch in the tree. One of them's got belovedly wandering googly eyes. And the other one's got a cool hat with praying hands on it. Yes, we're keeping an eye on those billionaires during their team building activities, folks. The ever watchful googly eyes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sir to be Dove.
That's right.
Appreciate it. And the last one here is by producer Mark A. Mm-hmm. And it's another one of those street chalk pieces.
Yes, he's been doing some chalk art for us. I don't know where this is happening, but if you are wandering down the streets of your city and you see googly eyes or canaries chalk arted, it's probably producer Mark. He says, "Shalom, boys, just playing with chalk again. Hope yins like it." And that's exactly what it is. You've got Big Daddy Yazzle. That's right. It's the flippy arm that has googly eyes that is Basil, but also this time it's I don't know. There's no succinct way of putting it, folks. I'm looking ripped. I'm totally jacked in my professional wrestler outfit, and I pity the fool who comes across this chalk drawing because they are going to be so confused. But thank you very much, producer Mark. I love that the artists, this is a very special thing. Let me not let this pass by. The art is always wonderful, an essential part of the show, but art that is also being materialized in the real world, in this case as chalk on a sidewalk, has a very special impact on the show.
Yeah, I mean it's basically it's a type of advertising, not corporate, but it's just a way to get the word out.
It's guerrilla marketing, baby.
Yeah, people will ask, who's Big Daddy Yazzle?
Yes,
and you just have to say, go to CanaryCry.Party.
It's so guerrilla, nobody even knows what's being advertised.
Yeah, you got to tell them to go to the party. And they'll say, what party? CanaryCry.Party. That's our ad, our video ad campaign.
Yeah, I was looking at some electronic billboards. The ones that are on the side of the highway that changed. You get 3 seconds at a time or something. Surprisingly affordable, Gons.
Oh, really? Should we do something?
I don't know.
Just a pair of googly eyes up there and.
Yeah, just googly eyes. And CanaryCry.Party. Just see what we can. It's got party in the name, so maybe people will think like, "Oh, let's go party," and then they'll find the truth.
Find a link tree.
They'll go to a link tree.
They'll be like, "What is this? This is."
They'll join the newsletter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen them. I haven't checked recently, actually, but I've seen those revolving electronic ones. You get 3 seconds at a time. You show up, whatever, 10 times a day or something. And it's like $150 a day. It's I mean, we can't afford it, but
that's a lot of dollars per day. We'll be up there for half a day,
I just thought it was surprisingly affordable. I guess, it's not out of reach necessarily.
Yeah, our luck, we'll get the hours of 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
You know what? Those are our people anyways. Those are the people that would actually go there.
Yeah. All right, real quick here. Meetups.
Canary Cry Meetup.
Just for time's sake, producer Ciara is leading a whole bunch of meetups, and I'm just gonna point people to CanaryCryNewsTalk.com.
Yes.
Go to the show notes, and you'll see all the stuff that she's involved in and all the locations. You have the Arizona meetup next weekend, I believe, but she did send this in today. It's a Zoom meetup that's happening tomorrow, just virtually.
Zoom meetup tomorrow. So if you're on Canary Cry community, there's a thread for the Zoom meetups. But if you're not on the community, I get the information's on that little flyer, right? Yep, we got a meeting ID, we got the passcode, everything you need to jump in and have a fun little Zoom hangout with other Canarians just like you. We highly recommend it. Thank you very much, producer Ciara. If you want any more info or login credentials to get the Zoom meetup or even an in-person meetup, email Ciara at ciaralauren93@gmail.com. That's CIARALAUREN93@gmail.com. Thank you, Ciara.
Thank you, Ciara.
Also, for everybody out there, remember, you can put on your own meetups. If there's not a meetup in your area, you can do it. And I know there's 2 people right now, 2 producers have reached out. One of them is looking to do a meetup in Tennessee, I believe. Oh, gosh. Maybe it's Kentucky. Oh, no. Sorry. Hold on. Let me just figure it out.
We got a note from someone.
Yes. Let me go to the Proton Mail here.
Is it Proton Mail?
But there's also another producer who is looking to do a meetup in Pensacola, Florida, or around those parts.
Kentucky?
Kentucky. Thank you.
Yeah, it was producer Tony.
Well, hold on. We're not doing it yet. He's got to figure stuff out, and he's got to give us contact information.
Is it he or she?
I don't know. Okay. I've only exchanged one email with this producer, but we'll be in further contact. And yes, also, you can put it up a meetup anywhere in the world, wherever you are. Do a meetup. I'm almost can guarantee that someone will show up to your meetup, especially if you're in the U.S. But also email Ciara. She's in the past given me permission to put this out there. But if you want to know how to do a meetup and like some tips and tricks, and maybe you've never done one, Ciara will help you out. Email her at ciaralauren93@gmail.com. Okay.
Kim W. also, and again, information you will find for the
August 7th in the Oregon-Washington border meetup, Estacada area. If you're in that area, email maidservantofchrist88 at protonmail.com. Maidservantofchrist88 at protonmail.com. Estacada area, Oregon, Washington. They're going to go Bigfoot hunting. It's going to be awesome. And that's going to be on August 7th. So get in contact with maidservantofchrist88 at protonmail.com.
All right. Time for some reviews here.
All right, some great reviews came in this week. Thank you, everybody who left reviews. We are doing it. 5th week in a row. We've hit our review quota, and the charts are just skyrocketing. Thank you so much. If you look at our little line of our little graph, the reviews are working. The reviews activate the algorithms to share the show with people who have never seen it before. And new listeners are coming in every week because of you guys. We don't do it. We have no control over this. It's all our reviewers. And so I want to thank them and read their reviews right now. They're awesome. You did it. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. We're just going to blast through them. We got a 5 stars from Leah 009900990099. Coming from the United States. 5 stars. A little bird warned me. The best view of the news ever. Join the flock and fly to freedom and faith. Enjoy life as the scales fall from your eyes as they teach us how to discern the times we are in. We are shown how to fear not the destructive nature of this age and stand with our heads held high for our Savior Jesus the Messiah. They offer the best medicine. No big pharma here. Only laughter and insight. Isaiah 58:11. Rochelle's version. Lord, always lead me and satisfy my soul. Make me like well-watered garden from a spring whose water never runs dry. Amen. Thank you very much, Leah 009900990099. That wonderful review. Next, we've got one from DB1234 from the United States. 5 stars. Best podcast ever, Gons.
Wow.
Says, yeah. My best friend Athena has listened to your show for a very long time. Shout out to Athena.
What's up, Athena?
She absolutely loves you guys. She's always trying to rattle some cages and telling everyone about your show. Athena, Gorilla Canary Warrior. Thank you, Athena. She loves you guys so much that she asked me to leave this review because she doesn't have an iPhone or any Apple products.
Does she have a Freedom phone?
You know what? Well, she can have one. Athena deserves it. So keep fighting the good fight and praise Jesus. Heart emoji. Thank you very much to DB1234 and also Athena. Sounds like you're really charging it. So shout out to you. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Next, we have See You on the Other Side from Canada, a Canadian review, 5 stars. A tree is known by its fruit. Hello, Basil and Gons. I learned about you by watching The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction channel. Shout out. Cool. The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. You guys have a fun, lighthearted take on all the terrible news we are all bombarded with. Thank you. May God's kingdom come. Daniel. Thank you very much, Daniel. That's Daniel or Danielle?
I don't know. I don't see it because it's Canadian.
It's Canadian, yeah. Well, thank you, Daniel. Or Daniel. Okay, next we have David Red H from the U.S. 5 stars. Great show. I was turned on to this show by a friend. I enjoy hearing the stories and commentary. This has become my favorite podcast. Ooh. Yeah, anyone who has an open mind should listen to Canary Cry. Keep up the excellent work. I enjoy your show.
Oh,
thank you very much, David.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that.
Yes. So far, we've got favorite podcast. We've got best podcast ever. We've got, this is great. I'm loving it. Next, we have Honad Rhines in the U.S. 5 stars. Previous title excellence. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I like it. This podcast is saving me and my neighbors' lives. Wow. These vigilant men are keeping a close watch and will cry like canaries when bad is happening in the mine. I've been a long-time listener and don't always catch everyone, but I'm trying to catch up on double speed. Thanks, Basil and Gons, for being so vigilant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mad Rhines.
You know, the canary analogy is interesting too, because usually in the context of the coal mine, the canaries die, you know? So it's kind of like, cool, but also you're kind of saying we're sacrificing ourselves, which we are in many ways.
As we continue to get deplatformed.
That is true.
I think a lot of people get deplatformed.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people got deplatformed early.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because we are getting deplatformed, but it feels like we're getting deplatformed at some sort of apex. You know, we held on for a long time. We were able to dodge the deplatforming for quite a while, but now as things get like the most extreme, I don't know, there's something there. There's some canary crying there.
Sorry, anyways. I missed your entire rant because 4-year-old daughter came in.
Oh my gosh, it was a great rant.
She takes precedence. Her rant was probably better.
That's okay. Probably. Well, this look at this. Our next review comes from Daddy Trump Uwu from the U.S.
UWU.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Are you familiar with Uwu?
No. What is it?
I don't fully understand. I don't fully know. Okay. And maybe this is not the right context. I've seen Uwu. I think it has something to do with anime
or cute face.
I think there's some. Yeah, I think it's like a cute face, but also like a waifu type thing is involved. But I'm not sure.
It looks okay here. According to dictionary.com. Uwu is what does it mean? Squee. Uwu is an emoticon depicting a cute face. It is used to express various warm, happy, and affectionate feelings.
Okay. Yeah. That's better. That's better than I think maybe I was getting the Gen Z TikTok definition. So we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Daddy Trump Uwu. It makes that name even funnier. Oh my gosh. 5 stars. Fantastic podcast. Fantastic podcast. Out of all the podcasts, which there are many, believe me, this one is the best. Woo! I have listened to many other podcasts. They are not so great.
This has to be written in Trump's voice. Doesn't it read like Trump?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, you're right. Do you want to do it? Do you have it in front of you?
I do.
I can't do a good Trump voice. You know,
well, I'm not that great at it either.
You got the best Trump voice on the internet.
No, I don't. Okay. Right. Out of all the podcasts, which there are many, believe me, this one's the best. I listen to many other podcasts. They are not so great. They are great people, really. They make me laugh. They roast CNN. It's fantastic. If you want a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events, these people do it the best. What else can I say? They talk about China. They talk about me. Look, if you don't listen, you'll be sorry. Actually, it will be a disgrace. America, don't miss this podcast. It would be a huge mistake. I'm kind of losing it. Excuse me.
Keep it going. This is great.
What you want to listen to is fake news. Your loss. Go be sleepy, Joe. Not my problem. No sussy bakas here, fam, but Hillary is the imposter. Shout out to my financial advisor, the crypto Chad himself. Fantastic, bro. Yeah, he actually told me about Basil and Gonz. Great people. I love them all. You'll love him. Basil and Gonzo are fantastic. Uwu.
Uwu.
Kind of lost it at the end, but there's a little.
We're gonna clip that. We're gonna use that for a promo.
Don't clip it.
It's a promo. It's going out there. That's funny. Crypto Chad is his financial advisor. Told him about Basil and Gonzo. That's great. Thank you very much, Daddy Trump. Uwu. Next up, we have. That was really.
You're supposed to be the one reading these, not me.
I maintain that you have the best Trump.
It's not that good.
Accent. You know, there's a lot of people with Trump accents. You're the best one that I know personally, that I have access to. Next up, we have how do you say this? HD Ushahuj from the U.S. Sorry, I have no idea what your name is. It says 5 stars, Canary Cry, best podcast out there. Can't recommend this enough. Thank you very much. H-Dush-Shahooj is
Thank you.
The U.S. Yeah, great, simple, succinct, beautiful, perfect. Next, we have Baking at Zephyrs from the U.S. 5 stars, better than No Agenda. Okay, hold on. No, this is great. I like this a lot. This gives me an opportunity to mention something, which is we talk about No Agenda a lot. And thankfully, a lot of our producers talk to No Agenda people about the show. We are very open about we have duplicated their value for value model. Yeah. We're open about that. And they know this. We actually asked them beforehand, got permission. And I think that our shows go really well together, Canary Cry and No Agenda, because we do listen to No Agenda all the time. We are aware of what they cover. We try not to cover the exact same thing. We try to make the shows supplement, or we try to make our show not a copy of No Agenda and try to supplement. We have more of the Christian biblical worldview. We talk about a lot of other stuff that they don't talk about. And so it's really a compliment when No Agenda people come and enjoy our show, because that means it's perfect. We're pretty much accomplishing exactly what we wanted to do. That being said, look, I'm not trying to make any comparison with No Agenda. They've been doing their show 14 years. They do a great job. Adam Curry invented or co-invented the podcast. All podcasters have a lot of, or should have a lot of gratitude to Adam Curry. Certainly, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. And so there you go. Do you have anything to add to that? Those were just some thoughts that,
yeah, I mean,
I just hadn't really had a chance to share before.
Well, Adam Curry's nickname is the Podfather for being the co-inventor of the podcast. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, they did certainly model a certain way to cover information, but again, we do have a different angle on things, some different presuppositions, a little different worldview. Oh, well,
I would say totally different show.
That's a different show, yeah.
Yeah, but we have similar worldview, and I guess the point I was trying to make is I am flattered when people compare us to No Agenda. It's a very flattering thing, but by no means are we necessarily trying to be better or do anything better or whatever. They are certainly the masters of this format, and it's very flattering to be compared to them.
Yeah.
That being said, Baking at Zephyrs says better than No Agenda. Uh-oh, shots fired.
I don't know if this is valid though. If you read the notes.
Yeah, I know. Well, hold on. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
5 stars. Better than No Agenda. I'm a Russian hacker, so this should be read in Russian. We communists love Canary Cry news talk. This is how we know what our future slaves know about our plans. This show reveals all the well-crafted propaganda, and now we will enlist our robot servants to take over the pancake. Resistance is futile. Do not listen to this show if you want to be surprised by your certain demise, because this show is fantastic. That's right. We are the KGB. Appreciates the show, Gons.
You know, this is one of those reviews that the people at Apple Podcast are probably scratching their heads. They are probably like, we got to listen to this. We got to check out the show.
Yeah, this might get us kicked off of Apple Podcast.
I know.
Oh, Russian hackers like the show? Deplatformed. That was great. Thank you very much, Baking at Zephyrs. Says United States of America here, but we know that they just hacked it to make it
just
safe.
hacked it, yeah. Just an IP redirect.
Yeah, so there we go. I'm just going to do a quick reload here. Nope, that's the end. Thank you very much to all of our raters and reviewers. It is actually, I'm just on a weekly basis astounded that you guys are answering the call, and we'll do it again. Let's see if we can do it for the 6th week in a row. Can we hit 5 reviews over on Apple Podcasts? Again, this is an aspect of podcasting that Gons and we have no control over this. It is all you guys. It is very valuable, and you have delivered for 5 weeks in a row. Let's see if we can do it again. 6 weeks in a row. Let's get 5 reviews. And here's a little tip. If you own an Apple device, this is the easiest way to do it. Whether it's a tablet, an iPad, an iPhone, a Mac, or whatever, search your device for Apple Podcasts. It's a little purple icon. Just click on that, search for Canary Cry News Talk, leave a rating and a review. It is, I'm just ecstatic that we've been able to keep this this train a-rolling, the review train. It's very valuable, and it's showing the benefit is showing. It is not a it's not for nothing. Real quick, Guns, I will go through the charts just for the producers. They need to know the charts.
Okay.
We just barely missed top 100 on the U.S. charts for news commentary. We're at 101.
Ooh.
So that's still good. It's good enough to mention.
Yeah.
But so close. Let's see. Top 100. We're 86 in Canada. Thank you very much, Canada. 99 in Sweden. Just made it. Thank you, Sweden. 95 in New Zealand. 87 in Switzerland. 55 in South Africa. Interesting. I wonder if the South African situation is maybe giving us a little boost there or something. Let's see here. 81 in Poland. I don't know if I've read Poland before. Okay, thanks, Poland, for listening. Singapore, number 47 in news commentary. Number 69 in Finland. Thank you very much, Finland. 89 in Romania. 38 in Nigeria. Number 38 in Uganda. Ooh, Uganda and Nigeria. We're tied, 38. Let's see. We have, look at this. Number 8. We're in top 10 news commentary in Belize. The Belizeans continue to tune in. Thank you very much. Whoa. Okay, we have a new country on the charts, Gons. New country on the charts, Malawi.
Ooh.
Malawi.
Where's that? I don't even know where that is.
I don't know. You need to look it up. We have fans in Malawi. We need to know where you are. Apologize. We are sort of ignorant, geographically ignorant Americans. We are learning about Malawi now.
Malawi, officially, the Republic of Malawi is a landlocked country in southeastern Africa that was formerly known as
Africa.
Nyasaland.
Okay, well, it's Malawi or Nyasaland. Malawi. Thank you very much for listening, Malawi. There's been an African. We've had quite
surge.
The African surge in our charts recently. Well, we are number 29 in Malawi in all of news.
Wow.
Not even news commentary, in all of news. Thank you for Malawi. And not to be outdone, again, Malawi, listen to this, number 1 in news commentary.
Wow.
We should add that to our intro. Welcome to Canary Cry News Talk, Malawi's number 1 news commentary podcast.
The religion, according to the 2018 consensus, 82.3% of Malawians is Christianity. 58% Protestant, 17% Catholic, 6% other.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be why.
Thanks for tuning in, Malawi. Canary Cry News Talk, Malawi's number 1 news commentary podcast.
President's name is Lazarus.
Ooh.
Chakwera. Wow. Yeah, Lazarus.
Do they have a vaccination program?
I don't know.
Because the FBI might have trouble keeping him down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank you. Bible jokes. All right. And lastly, not to be forgotten, Anguilla. We still love you, Anguilla. Number 24, news commentary.
All right.
There we go. Those are the charts, and we read them because you are the producers. So you should know where we stand on the global stage of news commentary podcasts. So that's all due to your support and production, producers. So thank you very much. Thank you to all the reviewers. Everything's going wonderful. I cannot wait. We'll be reading reviews again next Friday. So let's see if we can pack it in, folks. 5 more reviews by next Friday. Look, I'm not trying to make it a bit where I say I'm nervous every single week about this, but I really am. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop and we don't hit the 5. But I'm keeping faith that the producers will keep the reviews flowing. Thanks, guys. All right, Gons, are you ready to keep moving?
Yes, it's wake-up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
It's Latin for many.
Tick.
They'll suck your blood.
Politics.
Your blood.
We got to be quick on some of these because
let's zoom.
It's late. It's always late.
What time is it?
It's almost 6 p.m. where I am.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. We need to go.
Yep. This is NBC News. Top generals mobilized on fears Trump wanted military post-election coup. I saw some funny pictures of Millie here with like all this woke stuff and hair all. And it was pretty funny.
Okay.
That's according to a new book.
Breaking news, everybody. Gone saw a funny picture
I
of this
saw
guy.
a funny picture of, is this General? Was it General
Milley.
Mark Milley?
Yeah. Real quick. Okay. Before you start, because I don't want to interrupt with it. On our notes here, you have this listed as Milley, Trump wanted military coup. And definitely up until this exact moment, thought we had an article about Miley Cyrus and Trump wanting a military coup. I thought it said Miley, which I could not wait to learn how Miley
So you're thoroughly disappointed.
Wanted Trump to do a military coup. So this is news to me.
All right. This is an interesting way to start an article, too, because it has the headline, Top Generals Mobilized on Fears Trump Wanted Military Post-Election Coup. And the article begins, that's according to a new book by Washington Post reporter Phil Rucker and Carol Lynn. It's
You missed it. There's a sentence above the image.
There is? Oh. Rebecca Shabbat and Leanne Caldwell and Jesse Rodriguez and Courtney
do you really
Cube.
not see the
No, I don't.
sentence? That's weird.
People on the screen are watching the screen.
That's
Can't
strange.
see
It has it on mine. Here, I'll read the first sentence for you. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, worried that then President Donald Trump would try to use the military to attempt a coup after the 2020 election and vowed to prevent it.
Okay. That's according to a new book by Washington Post reporter Phil Rucker and Carol Lynn called I Alone Can Fix It, Donald Trump's Catastrophic Final Year, which will be released next week. This is a book advertisement story.
Yes,
the book excerpts of which were obtained by NBC News. Obtained by NBC News, a book excerpt.
Secretly obtained.
Such a ridiculous claim.
I know.
It makes it sound like it's secret, but it's like, come on, it's a book that's about to get published.
It's a native ad for a book that they had to make sound like they got secret military information.
The book.
To advertise the book.
Excerpts of which were obtained by NBC News. Attributes the accounts of private conversations between military and government officials to a myriad of unnamed sources.
Great.
Including aides to those involved.
Unnamed sources. This is journalism today, folks.
It's so ridiculous. Trump issued a statement on Thursday denying that he had ever considered a coup and criticizing Miley Cyrus, who he said he would appointed only because people he disliked had in turn disliked the general. Quote, so ridiculous. Sorry to inform you, but an election is my form of coup. And if I was going to do a coup, one of the last people I would want to do it with is General Mark Milley.
That's
Burn.
Funny. That is interesting because remember during or after, I guess it's just the Q stuff, the General Q stuff, all included Trump pulling a military coup. Yeah, where the military was going to come in and arrest.
That was QAnon's whole bit. Was
that the military
coming,
was going to.
The storm is coming.
During inauguration, helicopters are going to drop down. They're going to arrest Biden and Pelosi and Hillary and Obama, and Trump would be president again. And now it's just like this guy's like, no, there's no way we're doing. What are you talking about? I'm a general, and I'm not going to do that. So neener.
Many of the events surrounding the final weeks of Trump's presidency played out in public, including the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol as supporters of the former president attacked the building in an effort to prevent his defeat from being finalized. Untrue. Listen to our show. We got that first interview of the people that broke in on PBS, and the guy said, we're not here for Trump.
Yep.
But in a recent series of new books have offered details about the behind-the-scenes efforts, including that many who remained inside the administration worried about the stability of the government. The new details come as Trump has reemerged into public life, like he's like some kind of creature that
he's like
lives
a golem.
underwater. Yeah,
he's a troll coming out from under the bridge.
Holding recent rallies and increasing the frequency of his media appearances and written statements. He was scheduled to meet Thursday with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, a meeting that lawmakers' office said was to discuss the 2022 elections. Quote, "They may try, but won't succeed," Milley told his deputies about a possible coup, according to the book. "You can't do this without the military. You can't do this without the CIA and the FBI. We're the guys with the guns." Really?
You know, this is interesting. Is he even saying that Trump wanted a coup? He literally said, I mean, the quote is that Trump didn't want a coup. And if he did, he wouldn't want it with Mark Milley. And then he just spends the rest of the book saying about how there wasn't a coup. Like Trump didn't even want one, but he doesn't get one anyways because I won't do it. I have all the guns. Well, he didn't want one. Well, if he did, he wouldn't want you anyways. Yeah, well, if he did want me, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do the coup. I don't understand the point of this. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Am I missing something?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was another headline or another story of the same ilk here, probably a native ad. It was talking about how the military, starting with Milley, were prepared to quit one by one if Trump ordered them to, take over stuff or whatever.
That is so crazy. This is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Trump says, I don't want a coup, and if I did want a coup, I wouldn't do it with you. Well, if you did want a coup, I wouldn't do it with you. So, okay, well, I don't want a coup, and I wouldn't. Okay, guys, what the heck is this? This is lame. All right. Okay. I did see this headline all over the place too. This is huge
people
right
were
now.
People were. It's probably because the libjos like the fact that a man that looks like he would be a conservative or more traditional Americana, he's got the military outfit on, is saying things against Trump. They love that.
Yeah, well, and they love putting the headline. They love the headline that includes Trump and the word coup.
Yeah.
I wonder though, there's another angle to this, which is, of course, right before all of this, any Google search for Trump and coup would come up with January 6th stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
but
they're kind of
now,
hijacking.
The Google hijack now brings up all these articles with a quote of Trump saying he didn't want a coup.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a little flip-flop to this where this could hijack the sort of info zeitgeist, taking away the insurrection hits and replacing it with a quote of Trump saying he didn't want a coup. I don't know. I could see this going both ways.
The other thing that's interesting is that it's setting up a sort of how do you explain it? I'm thinking back to Biden a few weeks ago saying like, oh, if you want to take over, you need nukes. If you want to take over the government, you need nukes. It's almost like they're letting the public know exactly how a real coup would look.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Like informing them like, oh, you need nukes, you need the CIA and the FBI all on board. Like it's just a weird
it's kind of that classic a good salesman doesn't tell you why you should buy something. A good salesman, leads you to convince yourself to sell something.
Yeah,
it's almost like there's a broad zeitgeist info stream just putting the ideas of a coup and what you would need to do a coup and who you would need to convince to do a coup.
It's ironic, too, because it proves that the January 6th thing wasn't a coup attempt.
Yeah, right. Well, notice
based on their standards. Or maybe it does. I don't know.
Even in this article, they called it the riot. They did not call it an insurrection in this article, which is a weird little data point to lean in the direction of, oh, maybe this is a Google result takeover.
Yeah.
Because you get Trump and coup, you get Trump saying he didn't want a coup explicitly, and then also not even putting the insurrection word in there. we're talking about really weird. This is almost like, 21st century magicians, sort of trying to change historical storylines with these weird little search term hijackings. But the fact they didn't say insurrection kind of makes me lean again in that pro-Trump messaging. I don't know. It's just interesting.
It is interesting. Well, let's move on, though.
Yeah, along the same lines here, MSN.com. The headline, Georgia Secretary of State calls for Fulton County elections officials to be fired. Dun, dun, dun. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger on Thursday called for 2 Fulton County officials to be removed from their post. Raffensperger said that Fulton County Elections Director Rick Barron and Registration Chief Ralph Jones had to be fired and removed immediately. Quote, Fulton County's continued failures have gone on long enough with no accountability. Rick Barron and Ralph Jones, Fulton's registration chief, must be fired and removed from Fulton's elections leadership immediately. Fulton's voters and people of Georgia deserve better. The tweet from Raffensperger comes after reports that election officials in Fulton County had initially scanned about 200 ballots twice before a recount of the presidential election last fall, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. President Biden won the state of Georgia in the 2020 election over former President Trump, the first time in over 20 years that a Democrat has taken the reliably red state. Biden won a good chunk of support in Fulton County, which includes the Atlanta area. Following the election, Georgia was the subject of election controversy, and the Trump campaign, as well as Republicans, ordered audits of election results. 3 audits were held, but there was no evidence of widespread voter fraud. The Journal-Constitution noted that 200 ballots scanned twice appeared to have no significant impact on the final certified count. Raffensperger is running for re-election next year and is already facing at least one challenger, Representative Jody Hice, Republican of Georgia, who has been endorsed by Trump. The Georgia Republican Party passed a resolution in June to censor Raffensperger because he did not act on false claims made by Trump that widespread voter fraud had occurred in the state. Georgia Democratic State Representative B. Nguyen, who is also running for Secretary of State next year, replied that Raffensperger's tweet saying, quote, by his own admission, we conducted the most secure election in Georgia's history, but here he is again trying to appease radicalized and dangerous base that has rejected him. We deserve better. Interesting. What do you know about this Raffensperger guy?
I don't know much, but I'm very curious. I was having a conversation with someone recently about the election fraud and all that. And, there isn't any confidence coming from, well, right now it's like the conservative right, that any kind of audit actually gets down to the truth of the matter. And it's because of this kind of thing. 3 audits were held, but no evidence of widespread voter fraud. Widespread, I guess, is the caveat there.
Well, that's the caveat.
And then 200 ballots scanned twice. It's like, okay, well, if you found 200 ballots scanned twice.
So originally, this Raffensperger guy was against the idea that there was fraud. So he was kind of on the side of Biden, I guess. And now he's flip-flopping because he's up for election again?
I think that's something
kind of
like
sounds,
that. Yeah.
Sounds about right, yeah.
But it's weird because, again, politicians, they're just going to say or do whatever to remain in power, especially local elections like this.
I mean, shows that he's a true sort of snake.
Right. But I guess the bigger issue here with election fraud, and it wasn't the only one, there was some news that came out of Arizona as well, but the conflicting reports out of Arizona, again, if it wasn't so controversial, like if there truly was a way to verify it and with the confidence of the public, then we wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. And so it just feels like they, in general, and I felt this way back in November when the whole election thing unfolded. They really just want to damage the confidence of the current way things are. And, you know, obviously the pendulum swings on who calls the other side, you know, voter fraud and all that. But I don't know. It's just weird to me that they had audits, but they still found stuff, but there's no consequence because it didn't change the vote enough or whatever. But
yeah,
if you found something, what if there could be more?
Well, that's
and there's no details. How many did it take? Did they find it in all 3 audits, or did they find it on the 3rd audit? You know what I mean? Like, what is the process? There's no transparency.
Well, and that's kind of why this continues to rage on, I think, because they did find problems. Pretty much every state that was contested found weird problems and weird video and weird, you know, illegal electioneering and weird voter ballots, you know, people
machines
going door to door.
Yeah.
Yes, the machines. Like, that's the thing is, at this point, that's why they keep saying widespread, because there was fraud.
Yeah, but there's always fraud too. That's the other thing.
Sure. But, you know, there's, and maybe that's part of the whole back and forth of this thing. Is like, yeah, maybe there is always fraud, and there may have been more fraud this time, but they're just not gonna let it happen. I mean, it's just crazy because it's if there is a moment where you can question the viability of the American electoral process, barring an outside actor, like the Russia thing. I mean, I think that's why the Russia thing stuck. And why it was allowed to stick is because it's Russia, it's an enemy, we get to play it up, we don't like Trump, and you know, it wasn't our fault, it was Russia's fault. And of course, with the whole Russian thing ended up, the evidence, the actual facts of it were, you know, Russia spent, what was it, $100,000 for a troll farm to troll, and that was it. That was the election hacking. There was a troll farm that just like made trouble on social media, and they only spent $140,000, I think. And so that's sort of excusable. But if the inherent system outside of any outside influence is flawed, the whole thing will collapse. The whole country will collapse. Like, they can't let faith in the very system dissolve, or else everybody's heads will be on spikes.
Yeah, and of course we have the vice president out there saying, yeah, we need voter ID, but not in a way where voter ID can't be
very suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just very suspicious. I don't know. Well, there you go. We've got to kind of keep a finger on the pulse of this whole thing. I don't think anything big is going to happen. I think this will drag on for 4 years, and then we'll see what happens.
There's going to have to be an arbiter to come in, like a neutral arbiter. And like
the aliens.
I was going to say the Antichrist, but aliens could come in and do it too.
All right, here we go. A couple more stories and we're out of here. New York Post. Secretary of State Antony Blinken welcomes UN probe of racism in U.S.
Okay.
I don't like that word, probe.
UN? We don't want the UN getting in our business.
Oh, this is Biden opening he blocked the border for immigrants, and wide open come the United Nations.
Opening it up for the blue helmets. Yep. Notoriously savage and improper blue helmets that cause chaos across third world countries.
Yep. The United Nations, whose World Health Organization arm was just panned for its probe of COVID-19 pandemic's origins. Yeah, whatever. Confined.
Thank you, New York Post, for pointing that out, because that's a great point. The WHO is a UN thing, and they totally botched the COVID-19 origin investigation.
Yeah.
That's who we're going to let in and investigate us?
Well, look who let him in. It's Mr. Hairy Legs.
Yeah.
Yes. So, whose World Health Organization, the UN, whose World Health Organization arm was just panned for its probe of the COVID-19 pandemic's origins, confined to the guidelines set by the Chinese Communist Party, has been formally invited by the Biden administration to investigate, quote, the scourge. What did I think it was? Scourge. That's
know,
weird.
You're in Trump
I
mode.
must be. It's a scourge. Scourge. The great scourge. Of racism, racial discrimination, and xenophobia in the U.S., according to Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Quote, as the president has repeatedly made clear, great nations such as ours do not hide from our shortcomings. They acknowledge them openly and strive to improve with transparency, said Blinken in a statement released Tuesday. Quote, it is in this context that the United States intends to issue a formal standing invitation to all UN experts who report and advise on thematic human rights issues, he continued. This is a really, really bad idea.
Bizarre.
Quote, as a first step, we have reached out to offer an official visit by the UN Special Rapporteur on contemporary forms of racism and the UN Special Rapporteur on minority issues. The invitation was extended a little over a year after the lightning rod death of George Floyd, which I wonder if they wrote lightning rod death of George Floyd because allegedly that mural of George Floyd was hit by a lightning strike, I guess.
Yeah, allegedly. That's a little suspicious.
Yeah, that's suspicious for sure. A black man killed when white Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, since fired and convicted of murder, knelt on his neck during an arrest. You know, that is crazy. Talk about Hegelian dialectic. You know, we got race issues in America. Look at this white police officer kill a black man. UN, come probe the U.S.
Well, see, finish up because, there's definitely things to talk about here.
In a global report issued last month, sparked by Floyd's death, UN Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet called on nations to, quote, start dismantling racism. And earlier this month, Bachelet said that nations should, quote, fully fund a wide range of reparations measures to make amends for slavery, discrimination, and colonial rule. The invitation also comes less than a year after the U.S. endured a lashing on its civil rights record before the UN, getting scolded by the likes of China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and North Korea, as if they're not racially motivated in their actions.
This is great. No, that's the New York Post making a point there.
Yep. In the Tuesday statement, Blinken said that the U.S. had a duty to stand for judgment at the hands of the outside world. Quote, responsible nations must not shrink from scrutiny of their human rights record. Rather, they should acknowledge it with the intent to improve, he said. I urge all UN member states to join the United States in this effort and confront the scourge of racism, racial discrimination, and xenophobia.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Well, so here's the thing. On one hand, yes, it's being done under this justification of, let's back up. So when the UN gets called in to investigate something, it's because the country is not cooperating in fixing itself.
Right.
You know, usually the UN is doing these human rights investigations on like Iran and Saudi Arabia and, you know, these sort of notoriously human rights violation-y countries. And so that's sort of the normal thing is like the UN comes in and investigates because the country won't do anything itself. It refuses any problem. And the UN uses leverage with the standing with the, for instance, with Iran, who is a part of the UN, I believe, if UN doesn't participate and doesn't fix itself and doesn't do the things it's supposed to do, then they're like, hey, if you want to be in the UN, which there are all sorts of benefits for doing so, you got to let us come in and investigate. And then Iran sort of grits its teeth and lets maybe doesn't even let them, they just sort of go in and do it. So on one hand, Biden inviting the UN to come is a bit like when Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction and invited the U.S. investigators, and the UN, I believe, was involved in that, to come. He's like, yeah, sure, come on in. I don't have anything. Please come in. So it's kind of like doing a weird opposite day thing. Biden's trying to be like, look, we want to take responsibility for racism. But instead of just being like, yes, we are racist, we will I guess it's being used as leverage, maybe like political leverage against conservatives or the opponents of this idea. But it's just weird because it parallels. I mean, the only other people to invite the UN invite them in because they know they're innocent. I mean, for instance, Saddam Hussein invited investigations because he didn't have weapons of mass destruction. And when he invited the U.S. to come investigate, they're like, oh, you're not going to – we don't have to force it. You're just going to let us in? Yeah, please, come on. Do you think I have something? Just come in and take a look. And, of course, we go and take a look and nobody finds anything, but we go and bomb the place anyways. I don't know. It's just weird.
So on one hand, it could be proof or public admission, if you're a thinking person, that there is no systemic racism issue in this country. UN, come on in. You can look all you want. There's not going to be any racism. Or this is, and more so to the point of, I think the New York Post is trying to make here. This is, and maybe being, they're almost like taking the bait. You know, conservatives might take the bait on this one. Because if they're like, oh, Biden, you're only doing this because you're bowing to the UN, it's like, well, why don't you want the UN to come? Is it because you're a racist and you don't want your racist ways to be exposed?
No, that's a great point. There's a real double whammy. Like there's a deep sort of jujitsu move going on here, I think. Because if again on a policy basis, Biden is not some racial revolutionary. He does not want to pay reparations. He's a self-interested corporate status quo Democrat. He does not want the thing to go any further. Like he personally, he does not think it's a good political move for reparations. But yeah, if he can invite the UN in, which, as I said, historically only happens when there's nothing to hide, he is both, you know, who knows? Maybe the UN comes in and they're like, oh, yeah, actually, you guys are fine. You're great. No, you don't need to do anything. Booyah. Then Biden can turn around and be like, hey, Democrats, I
saved it. I solved racism in this country.
Yeah, well, that or just being like, yeah, Democrats, I let them in. Like, I tried to get the UN support. You know, I'm with you. Radical left. I'm trying. But they didn't find anything. So what am I supposed to do? I thought that the UN was going to force our hand, but I don't know. I don't even know if I'm articulating this correct, like not even accurately, just well enough. But it is such like a double cross, but fits with Biden's actual MO, not with, you know, what the right media wants you to believe, that Biden is a, you know, radical and blah, blah, blah. We see the data shows Biden has locked up more people at the U.S.-Mexico border. He's put more kids in cages. He has Kamala and the bald guy, whatever his name is, making quote unquote, you know, pleas to people, don't endanger your lives by trying to come to the U.S. Don't come to the U.S. You know, they're a total, as far as policy goes, they are the most conservative on, you know, foreign relations as far as immigration goes. I think that this is a trick. I think there is the Democrat elite are pulling a fast one right now to try to look good to the radical left while maintaining the status quo. And I know that's unpopular. People get all hyped up on how Biden is some revolutionary. He's not. He's an old man protecting the classic corporate Democrat way of life. And America is the sort of boss of the UN. Look, don't tell the rest of the UN this. Guys, let's keep this just between you and us, you and I. We pay all the bills. Like, we kind of push people around. We have veto power. We do whatever we want. Look, the UN is not going to come in and tell us that we need to pay reparations. It's just not going to happen. That being said, of course, there's conspiracy theories that we're going to have blue helmets marching down the streets enslaving the American people, which I think is the fear with this. But I don't think this is going to lead to anything.
Well, let's just do one last story here on CRISPR and bananas, and because it's really hot and I'm way past time. And
do it. Take us out, and I'll finish up.
CRISPR. Cas9.
Genetic Literacy Project. African scientists have created a CRISPR-edited banana that's resistant to a disease ravaging farms across the continent.
They did it.
Yeah.
They did it. We saved the bananas.
Banana xanthomonas wilt, BXW, is a bacterial disease that spreads easily and kills any banana plant it infects. It's the COVID-19 of bananas.
Yeah.
Farmers' only recourse once an infection takes hold is to cut down and burn the entire plant. Every species of cultivated banana is susceptible to BXW, and in places where the fruit is a primary source of both income and food, such as Africa, an infection can threaten not only farmers' livelihoods, but the entire local economy. In an attempt to stop the devastation caused by BXW, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, scientists in Kenya set out to develop a disease-resistant banana. For their study, they focused on a gene called Downy Mildew Resistance 6, DMR6, during a pathogen infection. The expression of this gene increases, and that suppresses the plant's immune function. Bananas are notoriously susceptible to disease because they are all clones. In the past, varieties of banana have been driven virtually extinct by infections like Panama disease, and today, viruses, bacteria, and fungi again threaten the world's banana supply. But if CRISPR can help bananas survive BXW, it may offer a solution to the plant's other enemies too.
Ooh, other enemies. Yeah. Can they keep the bananas green? Come on, baby.
I think that's yes. They can GMO the living
look at
banana.
The photo at the top
I
here.
know,
it's a man holding a mushy banana, opening it up, showing us the disease. Behind the man is a child wearing the most ridiculous Justin Bieber shirt I have ever seen.
Oh, somebody was tired of this is an old Bieb shirt too, so this is like circa 2012-ish.
Yeah, well, that's where most of American textiles end up. They just get packaged up and sent overseas for charity stuff. And yeah, that is a 2006 Bieber shirt for sure. That is incredible.
Yep. So there you go, Basil. They did it. They fixed your bananas. You can have your gene-modified bananas to keep them as green as you'd like, and also protect you from the banana COVID.
Oh my gosh! Does this mean I need to go get a vaccine?
Yeah. There's going to be an anti-vax banana crew that's just they're wilting and dying.
They finally got me. Well, yeah, you remember all the banana vaccine talk that we had back when I was first bringing the banana stories, right?
Yeah.
Dove did that great piece of art. Sorry, Sir-to-be Dove of the bananas running around with the jabs in their shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. What a great full circle way to end. Look, they fixed the bananas, folks. Everybody can breathe easy. I love how we have ongoing storylines throughout the Canary Cry universe that do end up finding some closure.
It's weird, isn't it? How just stuff comes comes together. And we talk about, we've discussed the Banana Republic, and it just gets really meta, all these stories.
Man. It's too much. It's almost like we're in a simulation. All right. Are you done?
I'm done. I need to turn the air on or something.
I'm done too. All right, folks. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. We will be back on Monday, the 19th. I forgot to tell you. So I got a text today. I have a doctor's appointment. So it'll be a late show or a really early show.
Okay. Are you on this timeline, or what's going to happen here? Are you on a different timeline?
I'm on a different timeline.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, I'm on a different timeline. We'll talk about it later.
That'll be interesting.
there will be a show on Monday at some point. So I want to remind everybody, especially you Face Like the Sun viewers, make sure to follow youtube.com/CanaryCry.Talk. Face Like the Sun will disappear forever, and you need to follow the backup channel or else you'll never see the show again. So go search for Canary Cry News Talk on YouTube. You can also head on over to CanaryCry.Party. That's right, CanaryCry.Party, where you can get hooked in, join the mailing list, join the Discord server, follow us in other locations, and become a producer, because we'll need some producers for next episode on Monday. That'll be episode 364. But I want to thank the producers for this episode 363, and those producers are producers B, Marcus F, Aaron J, Timothy H. Oh yeah, Aaron J was our executive producer for today. Also thank you to Jason O, Sir Casey the Shield Knight, Malik W, Merhana T, Amanda K, James H, Tristan H, Scott K, James G, Kim W, Gail M, Rebecca B. Thank you all so much for your support of the show, keeping it going. It's because of the producers that we are able to continue doing the show how we do it. We don't have to bow down to the false gods of advertising. Also, thank you to our time stampers, our jingle makers, our artists, everybody who makes this show happen, because we can't do it alone. And remember, you can produce the show by heading over to patreon.com/CCNT. That's patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk, or you can head on over to CanaryCryRadio.com/support. CanaryCryRadio.com/support. That's right. CanaryCryRadio.com/support has everything you need to become a producer of the show. Do it. You'll sleep better at night. And like Marcus F said, you'll feel a weight come off your shoulders, knowing that you are taking responsibility for your own media uptake and also supporting the mission of Canary Cry News Talk, which you are a part of. And remember, I'll be reading ratings and reviews next Friday. So let's do it. We got to hit 5 ratings and reviews by next Friday. If you haven't done it yet, please do it. It's very important. If you have an Apple device, it is so easy. Search your device for Apple Podcasts. It's a little purple icon there. Click on that, search for Canary Cry News Talk, subscribe, that's very important, and also leave a rating and a review. You will have our undying love and affection, and we'll read those on next Friday. You can also help out the show if you're a creative person by creating something for the show. That's right, it's very important. Create that content, baby, creating the culture around the show. And how do you create culture? Well, you do it with art and music. If you're a musician or an artist, create something Canary Cry themed. Maybe it's something you heard in the show, or maybe it's something that you thought of while listening to the show, or you just got a great tune and you want to write a song about robots. Go ahead and send that all to CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com or CanaryCryRadio@protonmail.com if you're one of those cool hacker kids. Other than that, you can really help out the show by sharing the show. Share it with your friends, share it on social media, press the share button, copy the link, send it out, do whatever you have to do, because as you can tell with the reviews, people are learning about the show from their friends, from their family, and they are changed for life, and they're so grateful to the person who shared the show with them. You know, you got friends, you got family, they're starting to wake up to the fact that the world is not what it seems, and you can help them by telling them about the show. It's okay. You can let them know it's a little weird, it takes a little getting used to, but inevitably they will love it, and they will thank you for it. We like to call it rattling cages, and if you need any other instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words?
First off, I like flat stuff, Earth in the chat. Flat! And also... It's real good commentary.
Flat.
And also Psalm 25:5 for anyone who needs to hear it. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. On you I wait all the day.
Amen. All right, folks, make sure to tune in on Monday. That's the 19th. Follow us in all those extra locations, especially Canary Cry, News Talk, YouTube. I'm telling you, face like the Sunners, you got to do it. We'll miss you. We'll miss you. And thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. But make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage. CanaryCry.Party. Go there. Woo!
Everybody loves waffles.
Give me a break.
Everybody loves waffles.
120 days.
Everybody loves waffles.
I wrote the bill.
Everybody loves waffles.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo.
We will launch a new age.
I'll keep you safe and warm now in my people's zoo.
Science is truth.
You in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on.
Look it up.
I'll keep the cameras on now in my people's zoo.
Demonic power.
You in my people's zoo.
They've been creating animal-human hybrids for decades.
Come on, man.
Keep yapping, man. Oh, it's really a productive segment, man. 120 days.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
Lots and races.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo. In my people's zoo.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths.